free to come up, discuss anything that you'd like.
Would 2020 Halloween have been L1? Just curious.
Yes, 2020 is Halloween is L1, but it is not VP. It is not VP bearing L1s. That would have been 2019. They went to Polygon in June of 2021, and the first collection was the Pride Fest. I believe the Pride Fest wearables was the first collection ever minted on Polygon.
Thank you.
I think we're back.
You're fine on Twitter. I'm not sure about on Scene. Oh, everybody stopped emoting. They're messing with the emotes again. Wow, fancy. I like your outfit. Okay, so we're getting a lot of questions in world. How do I get up to the clouds? There should be a giant spiral that is very easy to see. Like, if it's there, it should be pretty easy to see. Like, it's by the rock. What is it? Archway. So if you don't see it, then maybe reload or something, because I'm not sure how it could be missed unless it's just not spawning in. It might not be loading. Okay, and I see a question in the chat, the chatty chat, from Megas Opus. I'm trying to create a portal to my world from my parcel in DCL. Is there a way to do it without triggering an external link on click? I ask because it opens a browser window and I'd like to skip that step. Is there a way to teleport, but to send someone to a world? Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, there's a lot of smart people in the crowd. If anybody knows how to do that, to teleport from a parcel to world, please come up and tell us. I'm thinking there's like I haven't messed with that, but I'm thinking that you would have to have a link. Oh, bio. Do you have any input on this one?
Yo, Canessa, Sinful, what's up, family? DCL, everybody inside the room, what's up, everybody? Blessings to everybody. And yeah, I just want to tap in on that. There's many ways to do it. There's two ways to do it. If you're involved with SDK7, you can code up a script, and it will actually give you the capabilities of using a teleportation method, where you can have like this walking through an image or a GLB asset, and it can instantly teleport you. Now, if you're not too experienced with SDK7 coding or script coding, period, you can use the SDK6 builder. And a little trick there is basically you will have to have an external link embedded in the build, but you don't have to like show it. You can hide it somewhere and activate a trigger point. And that trigger point basically, once they enter that trigger point, it triggers that URL link, and it simulates a sort of seamless transition without having to open up a pop-up box and clicking teleport. It instantly just teleports you there. Or you can actually drop a teleporter, which is in the builder. It's a small circle, small teleporter animated portal that goes on the floor, and then again you can activate a trigger point where you don't have to click on it. It just seamlessly just walk to it and it transfers you over there. But ideally, SDK7, that's the only way actually to have like an actual physical portal, like a gate portal, where you can just walk through it. It requires coding though.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that bio. That's good to know. And I think if they're like Megas, we could always touch base in the CBD thread after. And if that still doesn't work for you, we can troubleshoot how to make that work.
And yeah, thank you for the question. Oh, I see your hand came back up.
Yeah, sorry, I actually forgot one thing to close out that there is a company called Do Wow TV. I've worked with them and partnered with them before as well. They're very good people, very good company. They've worked and hosted Metaverse Fashion Week as well. They've created like a interactive streaming television network service. I've shown it many times. They call it a digital billboard. Now you can use that as well as like a portal method where it has this functionality where it's called interactive, or you can make the actual television static, which means there's just no functionality. But what's pretty cool about it is that you can just walk into the TV, and we sort of used that for an egg hunt event with them a while back, I think in August. We went egg hunting across different metaverse locations using the television as a portal to jump in through these different worlds and different realms. And yeah, DCL Worlds was one of the places that we did use. And if I'm not mistaken, we also used Bodyland as one of the main gamified locations. So I'll drop down the link if that's okay with Kness and Sinful into the chat box on Twitter, on X, and you guys can sign up for a free account. And with that free account, it gives you access to one digital billboard with 5 interactive screens that you can input from anything. I mean, even an M3U8 link. So I'll give you an example of my own digital billboard as well on that tweet. And yeah, if you have any questions, just reach out to me and reach out to Kness and Sinful. They'll connect you to me as well if you don't have no way to contact me. So thank you again, Sinful, Knessa. And yeah, that answers your question for teleportations.
Thank you, Bio. Yeah, I mean, good thing you came up and mentioned all that because, at least to my understanding, and I'm no builder, like I've always seen those like just like click on like the Decentraland makes you click and like link pops up and then takes you to a different place. So that's kind of cool. Or like I've seen like in one parcel being able to teleport to a completely different instance, but that's all together. So thank you for sharing. And just want to reset the room. Everyone, make sure to like and retweet the room. Tell your friends about us that we're here. Um, and I did see someone new pop into the room. Oh, what up to the moon and welcome, Dream the Builder. Good to see you, my friend. What up, Madamus? Welcome, everyone. Hmm. I'm trying to think. What else have we not covered in this week's CBD space?
Oh, we just had Halloween this week. We had a lot of events and giveaways and some really cool ones.
Oh my God, yes. The did you get to try the Dapcraft build?
I did not. I was at Angzar running through the desert, digging holes in the desert looking for stuff. Was it pretty good?
I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I have been known to be impressed by the smallest things sometimes, but I thought it was pretty cool. Like I was like very impressed by like there's this mission where you had to like go around and collect the bats and like the bats instead of like the regular old like you go to the bat, you click it and it goes into your inventory or whatever. Like the bats were like animated and following your avatar the entire time, like right behind you, and you had to like collect. I think it was like like 8 bats or something like that, and then like all 8 would be like right behind you, like in single file line, like following you until you got to like the objective.
Oh, that sounds cool. Was there like a max limit of how many bats you could collect or have follow you?
Yeah, it was like a mission. It was like go collect my bats. My bats are lost. Please, I am lazy. Go pick them up. And then like you're like, okay, lazy NPC, I will go get your bats.
The bat. You had to gather the bats to train the robot bat to be a bat. Is
Yep,
what
yep,
that
yep.
was. Yeah, that was pretty cool though. So that was the only one I was able to do. Um, Angzar didn't work for me, and neither did uh the other quest with the ring.
Um, who, by any chance, does anyone here remember, like, at least when I was a kid, every Halloween there was this event called like Halloween with UNISEC or something like that. It was like a Cartoon Network event where like and where like they would give kids these like little boxes to like go like raise funds for like a certain thing. I forget exactly what it was, but like around that time they would release a game like in cartoonnetwork.com, which was like pretty much like, you know, your little avatar, and it would go around like different houses and trick or treat, and then like some houses would, like one house gave you a key, and then you had to figure out where that key went and stuff like that. It reminded me so much of like the Dapcraft event reminded me so much of that, but like in a 3D version of it instead of like just 2D.
That sounds awesome. I love the creativity of seeing like what comes out, what kind of things they're creating for those events. Oh, one existence, I feel bad hearing that you didn't get to do the Angzar one. Like, for me, that main realm. Sorry, you got to hear my Midwest try to sneak out. It does that from time to time. Main realm. The main realm, that wasn't doing it. Like, so then I went to an alternate realm, and then instantly everything showed up, and it was pretty cool. Like, it started feeding into my addictive nature, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the kind of stuff I'm gonna dream about, seeing like half buried skeletons of skulls buried in the desert in the sands. So I like that one. I don't know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got there and it said certain disconnect or something, just server disconnected or something. Um, so I just got up and went and did some stuff while old guy snuck in and took a photo of me without my permission and or my no paparazzi glasses. But that's okay. That's okay. It's old guy. I'll let it slide. And I went back later and it did the same thing. And I mentioned something, but Lastrom said, "Well, it's the event's over." I said, "Oh well." It didn't work for me earlier either, and he asked me that question about was it if I was in the main, but oh well. It, I can say this: my Halloween experience was 20 times better than it was last year because I didn't get to do any of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like last year you were having like the most Decentraland issues in the world. Like I am so happy like you stuck around despite the hardware issues back then. You know, definitely like talks or says a lot about your passion for the platform,
Well,
or like just decentralized space.
let's hope this builder in-world builder is the bomb because I've become so frustrated with the web builder and whatnot. And
Yeah.
what I would have liked, I am just going to mention this because I put a proposal in, is asking if people would like to see 3D objects added into the marketplace. Which at that case, it was just would a question, would they? The question came up about, and I think Canessa actually asked it about what's to prevent a person from giving their friends the GLB so that they can use it? Well, just I would say, what's to prevent? Why? Or let me ask you this: would you give your friend your VRM file of
I
an
would give
NFT
my
project?
friends. I would give my friends the shirt off my back.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying. Like I think there's the difference between, like, most of us are gonna do the right thing. We're gonna, we get it. I think everybody knows, like, if you want to get a GLB of wearables, there are hacks to get it. Like, uh,
Yes.
everything that's created, you can get it. But I think that the difference between, like, buying and selling wearables and emotes on the market, the difference between that and then buying and selling, the GLBs of files, unless it's contained in some way, like, protected the way that assets are in the in World Builder, where without without those extra, like, hacks, I can't take a chair out of the builder very easily, with a yeah. So, trying to I think that is just the concern, is that, then we need a curation team to be like, hey, I made this, like, let's see, for this build, okay, I made a giant storm. I made this storm, and all of a sudden, Rustan has it, and this is my storm, and I would have to, like, give my original file to the curation team, and they'd have to compare. That's what they do for wearables. They compare it side by side, and then if you're out of compliance, then they take down, the one that's a copy. In theory, it's still, you crazy hard to get that to happen. But I think it's a good idea. I think it would be awesome. I think that be another marketplace that we'd open, like, why not? Other than that,
And um, and one of the main reasons I also kind of surprised me why hadn't been done before. I hadn't thought about that exactly. But then, yes, this other stuff came up about how easy it can be in some cases to just snag that, which I'm surprised we don't hear that in the space. That obviously people are, I guess, more honest than we may think. Possibly, I don't know.
I
I
think if
just
you go to the wearable forum and check that out, I mean, it happens all the time. I think
Yeah,
is where
I've heard about that, but I mean,
yeah.
like with PFPs, you can copy paste those, or uh, there's is a project that has an avatar that you get the way you get the file. Anybody can access it. I tested it, and I did report it to the I did report it to the project. And then I had a long talk with, or not a long talk, but a little bit back and forth with Rustan on the deal, because and if he wasn't going to be if he wasn't concerned, I wasn't really going to concern myself either. But he kind of enlightened me on some things, and um, as far as that goes, so. But I thought it would be a great way for a new outlet for creators to add stuff. And yes, you can get free items on the web, different locations, poly.pizza, but a lot of them you're supposed to give credit to the creator, and even though they are low poly, those add up quick. The items I would hope that would be put on sale in decentral or in the marketplace would be optimized. See, that's another thing I have problems doing with, just creating some of the stuff I have or some things I've downloaded, is how to really, really optimize it, because some of them need optimized a lot if I want to be able to use them. Because one plot of land, and I thank old guy next to me up here for letting me use a plot for a little while anyway, is very hard to build on.
It is, and it's something that I think, and I just don't have the time or energy to or drive to put a proposal in, but I would love to see a proposal to change the triangle limitations and maybe materials on a one piece parcel. Like right now it's 10,000 and it's very linear. So like if one parcel's 10,000, two parcels 20,000, three parcels 30,000. But I would love to see like one parcel is higher, like even 12,000 or 15,000. But then leave two parcels, maybe it's still 20,000 or maybe it's 22,000, but maybe make like a sliding scale, because by the time you get to three parcels, you have so much more freedom. Like you can do so much more. The jump between 10,000 triangles to 20,000 triangles is phenomenal. You can do stuff on a two-piece parcel that you just couldn't dream on a one-piece parcel. And if you don't, like if you don't work in Blender, really good luck, because that is hard. And it, like I said, I only learned how to work in Blender last year. So normally all of my builds are 100% in the builder. And actually the word triangle is like gives me a little knee-jerk reaction. So in 2019 I actually made an Excel spreadsheet of the assets that were available in the builder, because back then there weren't as many asset packs. There was no cyberpunk, no western, no fantasy. It was like when pirate came out, that was a big deal. But I tested each asset at a time, putting it into a blank build, writing down how many triangles there were, because like in the pirate build there's 6 or 7 different giant rocks. Okay, but like the difference in triangles from the eyeballs perspective, they look the same. But because some of them were optimized and some of them weren't, there's a night and day difference between, there's this really cool one, but it's like 5,000 triangles. So you put that in your scene, you're done. You've blown your load on that one boulder. So you do have to be efficient of what you put in your scene. And it doesn't always translate to like, oh, this fern, it's a fern plant. It's got tons of little wiggly shapes. So that's going to have a ton of triangles. Well, not necessarily. Actually, that wine bottle that should be pretty low has more than the fern. So like I don't know what the in-world builder, I'm going to wait for every product to like show, not tell. Like I'll let it show me that it's the next best thing. But if that wasn't coming out and we were stuck with the builder for new users, I would say, man, we got to go back and we got to optimize so many of those assets, because most of those packs have not been touched since 2019. Like I said, the cyberpunk, the western, the fantasy, those came out later. But I'm saying like, I don't know, was it 2020 or early 2021? So really like there's no change in the builder. And maybe it's okay, because that thing has a life expectancy. Like maybe it's just gonna die off soon, and these other things, these next level ups, like the in-world builder, or just people learning how to use Blender and importing, maybe that's gonna take over. But if not, then good luck, because I just like as a person who freaking loves the builder, because that's what brought me here. I love the builder. It's just limited if you've got one parcel. If you can bring it to two parcels, that's better, but it's just limited.
Are you using the new one with the SDK7 version?
Heck no. I don't
Okay.
change that fast. I live in the past.
All right.
I
Well,
love the past. No, I told myself that my Oktoberfest build would be the last one that I build in the builder. But now that I said that, I'm like, I don't want to learn new things. I want to stay where it's comfortable. I mean, I'm making assets in Blender and importing them. But what really frustrates me is it seems simple, and AJ and I have talked about it before, but like there's no rotate tool. And this, sorry if I sound like I'm like irritated about it, but the whole idea is you can't rotate your scene once you put it in world using that SDK7 builder tool. And that, like,
yeah,
I
you
don't
have
know
to
how many times I've ever had to rotate a scene, like every single time, like, because you don't, it's just, that
you
is
have
going to be such a turnoff for new users.
you have to WSAD it.
Um, You
is the
can't even
closest
do
thing
that. No, no, you
you
have to
should be
go
able
at
to, because
um.
I do. And but real quick, one thing, the SDK7, it you have to go look for where it gives you your count. It doesn't display it like in the 6, and in where it does display it, it doesn't tell you that you're too high, too low. So until you publish it, you don't find that out. Sorry, I wanted to get that in.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, we had AJ and I spent many hours on a weekend trying to get a scene rotated, because in the new builder, like, if you've got a 2 parcel scene and you've got the parcels, like going east to west versus north to south, in the legacy, the traditional builder, you could just rotate that once you have to choose, like, you rotate it once you deploy, and they've taken that option out of the new builder, not the full SDK7, but the builder tool. So if there's a way that AJ and I both missed that, that would be awesome. I know AJ made a video um, venting, but never sent it to Foundation. Yeah, so maybe he's like, let's meet up after, because I'd love to know if it's just that simple. Like the way that we were told by Foundation is, we were given a link. We were told that we had to download a JSON file. We had to, there's like multiple extra steps, which if you're a new, builder, landowner, and you're just trying to build on your land, that's just like, that's a brick wall.
100%. And yeah, I can meet you in the CBD. I don't think what I'm talking about is what you need, but I see Biomed has been patient too.
Yeah, go ahead, Bio.
Hey, thanks, existence, and Vanessa, appreciate you for passing the mic. Real quick, just want to tap in and just share a cool thought that I maybe want to, push into the air one day to the DCL Foundation. And, you see how we have delegated VP. What if we can also create a system or a systematic operation where people who also hold purchased wearables, the funds or the amount of mana that it costs to purchase those wearables become a delegatable amount of mana for megabytes for each avatar to hold their own proprietary additional megabytes when you enter a parcel. We're seeing that right now. A lot of our issues in Decentraland when it comes to lagging and glitches are because each avatar basically it's a scene. Each avatar is just like a building. I saw this also in a proposal. I forgot who mentioned this. Sort of the similar type of wording as well. And just imagine of having 40 different avatars inside of one parcel. That's like having 40 different builds inside one scene, where each computer has to load up each build, even though it's on scene load radius 1. But what if we had an assistance program where this mana can be converted, sort of like what we see in the Decentraland worlds, where however many amount of mana you owe or hold is how much megabytes the world is. Maybe adding that additional megabytes as an assistance for each avatar holder that's on the parcel can also add megabytes to the actual scene itself, relieving the stress of not having enough shared megabytes or cache to be spread around. Not only that, also that limitation on the original builds where it's 10K for one by one. I myself struggle building the bit cinema because of that limitation. It was crazy how I was even able to pull that off. But just seeing a function that maybe can add more mana to a holder of a parcel, where it would then increase their file size. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 14 or 15 megabytes right now for a one by one. It would definitely be cool to see that as an option. Definitely just to also increase optimization as well, even if you're not going to use all of the megabytes, but having more megabytes inside of a parcel, it relieves the glitching and the stress from having a limitation inside of that. So hopefully one day that could be something that people can look into, and I think it would really help a lot of users, especially those that have lower end computers that struggle to then really access these worlds. It will be more like funneling some bandwidth to those that actually need it in another way. But yeah, that to me I think can resolve a lot of our issues, specifically the glitches with emotes and a lot of stuff. It's just a lack of data or foundational data to make the operation work. Just like an Android phone, it allocates a certain amount of megabytes or gigabytes from the overall threshold of the storage unit to have its internal software operations installed there. So I think that's something we should also think about into improving the gamified experience here. Because this last week, honestly, I'm not talking bad about Decentraland. So those that know me, I live in here like 24/7. But damn, this last week I've grown about 5 or 7, maybe 9 gray hairs in places that I never thought I can grow gray hairs. I kid you not. I really hope that this can be fixed soon because Metaverse Fashion or Metaverse Music Week is actually coming soon. So I really wish that can be fixed, and hopefully this can be a solution for it.
I know exactly how you. I go through that kind of stuff a lot, especially with the builder. So I know.
Yeah, the triangle limit's it's a little bit low, honestly. I mean, just the chair itself, if you want to get one of those pre-assets that they have in the builder, it's very high triangle count, and they should definitely look into having some sort of converter built into the builder where if you want to like drop down the poly count, even if it comes with a sacrifice of quality of the actual overall GLB file, I think that should be an option. People should have flexibility.
I
One of the main things I learned building in Decentraland is, and I asked other people, what's the best way to make a parkour, and I got, well, use your avatar to guesstimate it, or do it, check it, fix it, do it, check it, fix it. I figured out the best way to make a parkour, and that's to lay it all out flat on the ground first. I was very proud of that.
Then I might have a chance of doing it if it's flat on the ground. Can we do that and then like make duplicates? One parkour, just take, make it go up in the air for everybody else. Maybe Mariana and I, we can be on the parkour on the ground. That's what I should do. Just like a hopscotch. Just that would be easier.
To quote Fancy, he said my parkour was a nightmare. And I hate parkour too.
I think literally I've only completed I think Rustan's parkour in 2021 and then the New Year's Eve 2021 to like New Year's Eve 2022. Those are the only two parkours I've ever finished, I believe. I just pretty yeah, like I just know it's just not going to work. It's better just to like just stop. Don't put myself through that pain.
Yeah, I learned my lesson with the altcoin radio parkours. Sometimes I feel brave and I'll like start doing it, and then I'll be like up in the sky and be like, "What am I doing?" And then I just like stay there, and that's my party spot.
Well, I was trying to make, with on what little space I had, a a combination parkour and maze. That's why it looked like a nightmare.
And did you get to work?
For the most part, yes. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of dead ends, really, because of the limited room. But there was, yeah, there was one way to get up to the top of one of the towers, and you had to go another way to get up the top of another one. And sometimes it looked like you might be able to hop across from one way to the other, but no.
Interesting. I mean, I know that parkour, like back in the altcoin radio days, like that was I feel like, I don't know if that was the pinnacle or not, but like parkour and POAP, those seem to go together so well because, you know, people wanted that POAP. So making a parkour course seem like the logical thing to do for it. So I don't know. I feel like parkour is not as big of a thing now, but maybe it's just bear market talking where it's just not, I don't know, not as much as there was in 2021, like things going on like that.
Make a wish.
Lucky, it's 2:11 over here. Boring.
Bora boring.
By the way, I see Losi has been in here for like almost the entire time here. Hello, Losi. And did any of you get to catch Losi's event or Losi's performance at True Band Room? Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I'm trying to think. Or was it Tuesday?
Thursday, I think.
Oh, it was Thursday. Okay, yes. Day before yesterday. She did amazing, as always. Shout out to Losi.
Do you know if she's playing for the festival? Did she get hooked up?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was one of the chosen musicians or artists to perform at the main stage. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
Yes,
Except
I'm calling them the headliners. Like
the
in
headliner.
the headliners, yeah, because instead of some, the big names that people know out there, like we had with Ozzy Osbourne, whatnot, these are the main headliners. That's the way I see it, sort of.
True.
So then
Very true.
they use that as as like um as a reference. Like I headlined the Metaverse Music Festival in Decentraland.
I say go for it.
What a resume
I,
booster. I, as a event organizer, I would be like, "What is Decentraland?" And then that gives the person the opportunity to be like, "Bro, let me change your world right now." Performing music, but in the metaverse. And then yeah, Decentraland blows up. We our land prices inflate to millions. We hodl because we ain't no bitches.
well, something like that is gonna happen. Like I don't know. I was thinking about it. Something's gonna happen if we sit here long enough. Something is gonna happen.
The saying, if you build it, they will come.
That is true. And it seems like very true in like a Decentraland sense. If you build it, they will come. I guess also there's like a little bit to that. If you build it and care for it and nurture it, they will come.
Yeah, good point. I mean, look at like the people that are here every day and building stuff. I mean, they're like crazy opportunities have come up for those people, and then people leave. Like that's okay. Life comes first. So for whatever reason, they gotta leave and do other things. But some of them that I see post on social media, they're like cool, like what you guys are doing, it's awesome. I wish I would have stayed, or like, how do I get back into it? Or oh my gosh, there's so many changes that have happened. Like, I don't know. I think sometimes we're just living it every day. Like we don't even see the big changes that are happening like bit by bit because they're just happening so small. It's like if you put scientific facts so you guys can all learn something today. If you take a frog and you put it in boiling water, it will jump out because it feels the heat. But if
I
you
don't
put a
believe you.
well, now here, if you put a frog in water and you slowly heat it up, it will stay in until it boils itself. It will die. And so we don't see the change because we're just here living it. I guess I'm the boiling frog. Damn it. This analogy did not go as I wanted. Um, but basically, like we're just living it every day. So maybe we're not even seeing the big changes. But like imagine if you were here a year ago and you come back and emote 2.0 is here, and the backpack has changed, and I mean, we can like look up our wearables, and there's all these changes. um yeah, there's just so much going on, I think, that we just don't even realize like what a big deal it is. That's my TED talk, my frog talk.
Well, at least you didn't genocide an entire ant colony with cement just to see what it looked like.
No, I had an ant colony when I was a young person, and I love ants. And then my dad put gasoline on it, and it broke my heart because those were my babies. So I don't know what you're talking about, but you're bringing up some really hard memories.
I'm so sorry. Well, it was somebody posted up in the jumbotron of a space I was in about some group of scientists pouring cement into an ant hole so they could map out the colony.
I think I've seen this done, but like with something like, of course, it's sad. It was like with I don't know, like some sort of metal that they melted down, and then like it like managed to like seep and then seep into like all the tunnels, and then they like pulled it out, and it was like this gorgeous freaking shape of the tunnels of the ant hill and shit like that. Of course, very brutal for the ants. And Kness, I refer you to the comments. I posted a comment in the chat or in the comments here of the space.
Oh my gosh, yes, this is me. This is me. I am in the boiling water,
Just chilling.
just chilling. That's okay. I won't make that mistake twice. I already left Decentraland once because, it just wasn't living up to my dreams. I won't make that mistake again. I'll just stay here in the hot water. See what ends up. Maybe it's a boiling pop. Maybe it's a hot tub. Who knows?
Oh, and to what you said earlier about me sticking it out, sinful. Just a thank you to everyone for allowing me to throw my bitches out there quite often now and then when I was complaining. So
I mean, there were super valid like points, and I hope like the overlords like really like saw this or listened to this and like took it to took it to heart, because like it was like right here we had an individual that wants to use the platform, wants to create on the platform, wants to support, wants to be part of the DAU, for shit's sakes. There's so many people that don't contribute to the DAU, and then they complain about DAU, and like and there you were, and you couldn't get on. So like I'm really happy that it all got figured out, whether if it was a hardware change, or it was like some settings, or maybe just optimization from their end. Like I'm happy it happened.
and yeah, there were several times like I can name two specific people. They had events going, and I threw out one of my bitches, and they actually said something to me or replied back, and they were apologetic. But I said I know it's not your fault. But Tang Poco and Stony Eye, I think they probably they probably did that on more than one occasion actually. So, but it was my computer too, so I did upgrade that. But so that did help.
And you never looked back since, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, always happy to see you in world, and definitely like for yourself must be even better to like instead of scrambling to catch the Twitter space or a stream or something because you couldn't join, like now you could actually like be there and support, and
Yes,
things are happening.
I can attend. I can actually attend more events now than I used to be able to.
Hmm.
um, which I think Vroomway was the last one I I think was the last one. I need to get back in there.
Speaking of Broomway, Mr. Billy T, Mr. 69 himself, performed at Broomway yesterday. Always good to see our friend there throw some beats. Is it just is it just me? But I love Billy's freaking DJ sets. Like he brings back like the 90s to early 2000s. He has like the music video playing while he like chops it up and does different things with it. Like dude puts time into his sets, that's for sure.
He does it for the ladies.
Ah, it's for the ladies. He hasn't even done it for me. This whole time I thought it was for me. Damn it. Vanessa taking my glory once again for
Maybe he slipped one or two. Maybe he slipped one in there for you at some point.
maybe a cut.
I think he's got. I think he's got something in for the Dapper Daddies. Is that what they were?
The Mew, the Dapper Daddy.
You remember the Dapper Daddies when he tried to make a boy band in like early 2022, and I think it was like you, Rustan, Billy. I don't know who else. Am I remembering the past correctly?
I think I think I have a feeling I know where you're going with this. And this was like way back. Like could we like even put this back to when okay, the baby girls or the baby dolls were just getting started, but then there was a different group of girls. The Rich Honey Gang.
Yep, the Rich Hunt.
I know Mariana knows that. Mariana's about to message us like be like, "No!"
Yeah, and then I think at first we didn't know who the not rich, the Dapper Daddies. I feel like I want to say Dapper Dans, but that if for any Disney friends, those are the four guys that go around Main Street singing a cappella. So I know it's not the Dapper Dans, but it was like the Dapper Daddies. And I remember Rustan somehow like there was like a picture at Genesis Plaza, and you guys were all standing in it together, I think. So I don't know. My brain's remembering like little snippets of the past. But I feel like old guy needs to revive that. Like old guy can bring back the Dapper Daddies.
Barbershop, I picture.
Yeah, something like that. A barbershop quartet, but I think there needs to be like some class, like the nice suits, kind of like old guy's suit, you know. I think that was nice. We got to bring class back to DCL. Have some Dapper Daddies. I guess that's what we're missing.
That's a very fine suit too.
I wish I was a Dapper Daddy.
Well, if you get old guy's suit, maybe you can be. But I sadly I think it's sold out.
Yeah, it's gone. Finally, after 2 years. Um, it took that long to get a Mew bubble. My God. Going to change the subject up a little bit here. I'm going through Builder into Decentraland. I'm looking at worlds. Does anybody know what this space used total storage to calculate based on mana land and names holdings? Does anybody know what that means and what it's all about?
I have a whole 4 gigabytes.
Yeah, you. Oh God damn! I can believe that. You get 100 megabytes per name, and I think you get 100 megabytes per land, and you get 100 megabytes for every 2,000 mana. I believe is how it
So
works.
what does that mean? I mean, does it mean that's you can build bigger, you can build smaller? What is that all
Bigger
about?
files, but I still think there's the triangle count issue.
Yeah, I know you were talking about that earlier. Sorry, I've been a little AFK, but yeah, even like my grill on that 1x1, you were talking about how difficult it was to build on 1x1. Well, there's other things that I would like to do on the grill. Unfortunately, I just can't. There's not enough squares. I am maxed out. I had all intentions of putting a jacuzzi on the top of the grill with steam coming out of it, and I just can't do it. There was just no way to do it. So, because of the triangles. But yeah, so I'm looking at this, and I've got, I don't know, 2,200 megabytes, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, or even why that's there, or what ENS domains means. What is all this new stuff?
So if somebody owns an ENS name, .eth, they get 25 megabytes. That's it. No more. But they get a 25 megabyte world. They don't have to have a Decentraland name. If you have a, like, I got one existence.eth, so I have a world for that, but it's limited to 25 megabytes regardless of my Decentraland stuff. But can you confirm, Canessa, is the 100 megabytes, does that mean you can put larger files on it?
Yeah, it's just larger files, and so yeah, and I it's not going to help triangles or materials or meshes or anything like that. It's just the amount of files that you have, so like in your Blender assets coming through. Yeah, and I really would defer to the smart people in the world, in the room down there, that probably know better than I do. But I know there's no way to get around the triangles and those scene limitations. I'm trying to think of an example, and I've got nothing, because since I'm kind of a simple builder in Blender, most of my stuff doesn't have huge. Well, I shouldn't say that. I know some people that have like decimated my shit, that they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Like Argent, how she just laughed in my face when I gave her one of my files. She's like, "What did you do?" So I think that's probably where it would help out, but not triangles.
Those smart people are being bashful and not coming up here evidently today.
Hee hee. They know too much. They don't want us to know how big their brains are.
I'll give the terrible news. So remember, everybody, tonight, 2 a.m. or before you go to bed. Fortunately, this one is the fallback. And I swear to God, a friend told me this was the last time that the laws had actually passed. And I went and looked it up, and no.
So we're
God.
losing an hour or gaining
No,
an hour?
you get an extra hour. You're going to fall back.
Oh,
So
thank God.
At 2 o'clock, it becomes 1. Your time.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna be so brutal. Okay, I need to talk to whoever I've been allowing to use my server. Make sure like shit does not overlap here. Oh God, I remember last year there was and I felt so bad because I don't know, I felt like I should have seen this coming, but it was my first time. Just like had two friends that were hosting events, and like one of them was in Europe and the other one is here in the US, and then we had our time change. Our time change was changed to the time that US friend had event, overlapped with European friend event, and then European friend was like, I've already changed my event time like 3 times. And it was a mess.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. That would be crazy.
We need
I
a
don't know.
master schedule. A
Well,
master schedule.
I actually like the idea. That means I could have a party, and my 1 hour party would turn into a 2 hour party. Just do it right during that time frame.
You totally should do that. When is the time changing? 2 a.m. Eastern.
Officially, it falls back. Yes, at 2 a.m. Whatever So
Alrighty. Old guy, you up for it? You got any of that old guy rub on
Oh
hand?
man, that time of night. Oh, I remember, I'm old. 9 o'clock. I'm rubbing my eyes, going, are these events just about over with yet? I gotta go to
Hey,
bed.
hey, old guy.
It's tough on Monday nights to make it through your whole show. I'm like, man, it's like 12:30. What's going on?
They're still going.
Hey, old guy, can you like connect with Roots and make some like coffee bean extruded like suntan lotion? Because he's in Hawaii. And then you could call that the old guy rub.
Yeah, man. When that came out of my mouth, I knew as soon as I said it, I was like, yep, I done just screwed up. But oh well. We
going
could
for
try.
going forward, this silence was brought to you by Old Guy Rub.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Can I get a logo that I can throw on my stream, like that just says "old guy rub," please?
Hey, well,
Uh,
I've got a couple other ideas too, but we don't want to offend anybody. You know how that goes. But
okay, old guy. So when old guy rub seasoning wearable tied to physical version of old guy rub seasonings. Come on, we
yeah.
can get like a whole line
So no,
here.
look, I'm going to tell you my thought process and my idea that I had come up with, but I'm going to say it, Vanessa. I'm sorry, I've got to. So I thought about creating a wearable, and on the wearable it says, if if I rub your butt, will you pull my pork? But
We need T-shirts of this too.
some thought that might offend some people, so I thought maybe I better not.
We need T-shirts. We need T-shirts as soon as possible.
There's
This,
worse things out there.
But I did
yes,
retract that statement and I did say, you know what? Fuck it. Do it. I love it.
I have an old guy giant bib.
Old guy giant bib.
Yeah, it came in the mail.
Is that what you use that for?
It says
Because
old guy on it. It's a
because
giant bib.
seasoned grillers use it for barbecuing. All right. Hey, look, this has been a fun space. I do have to step down. I've got about 4,000 pounds worth of leaves on my yard that I got to get cleaned up, and we finally got a 48-degree day to get it done in. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. It's been fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
We'll talk about Thanksgiving then, if you want.
Absolutely.
See if something happens.
We'll reach out
Awesome.
to.
Oh,
take
thanks, old
care,
guy.
old guy. Thank you. I mean, old. On that note, I mean, we've been going for 2 hours and 30 minutes so far. Yeah, we're down to the host and one speaker here. What do you think, Vanessa? Would you think it's a good time to see if we have any last topics that anyone would like to bring up, or just start closing down if not?
I think so. I think if anybody, wants to come up, feel free. Hopefully everybody always knows they're welcome. This is an open forum. But otherwise, yeah, there's probably lots of events to go do, a lot of building to build and things to create. So I think we could definitely start wrapping up. And this is usually when everybody comes up or when everybody starts leaving the room.
Everyone takes hit of the catnip around this time, and and then like request to come up to speak, and it's like, what really grinds my gears.
That's what this. You got to call it. Okay, this is the last call. Last call for alcohol.
And yeah, I just want to thank like a bunch of you. I mean, a majority of you that have been here just hanging out the entire time. Really means a lot to Canessa and I to see you all here every week. Just supporting and showing love. I see that Dr. Drip came up to speak. What up, Dr. Drip?
Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm shipping orders, boring Web 2 stuff, but I was listening in the whole time. This is great. I actually have an idea for Canessa's epic idea for the what was it? A DJ grill setup. That's amazing, and I think I have an idea, a recommendation rather, for the first DJ to actually use that setup. We should hit up. You know who we should hit up? We should hit up Paris Hilton. Cause she'll be up there DJing and she'll be like, "That's hot," and then she'll like flip a burger and she'll be like, "That's hot." So I just wanted to say that. It was a really good week. Last night was fun at Vroomway. We launched my Clonex modified wearables. I'm giving away some ordinals, like some really early edition Dr. Drip ordinals with minting those. So that's fun. That's exciting. The Artifact ecosystem has been buzzing. They launched their Crypto Kicks forging event so that people were claiming these shoes for about $250 a pair. There were a few ways to get them, either holding the Crypto Kicks NFT or by holding a clone. You got an exclusive CloneX version of those shoes. And then once that ended, now they have a Vile Evolution happening where you just upgrade your NFT. And that's really dope. And like stuff is really popping off with that. Let's see. Oh, Nikki Fuego joined Last Slice recently. Madamus also officially joined Last Slice recently. These are homies that have been around and creating stuff and building stuff. And they've kind of been like friends of Last Slice for a long time. Well, now they officially joined, and I do know if anyone's interested in joining the fam, there's a Last Slice listed for like half the mint price. Um,
That's hot.
yeah, I know that like a lot of the activity, like the regular activity, they used to have like tours and regular events with Lastrum. They've kind of gone down a little bit. Like there's a lot less of those like big events, but Lastrom is still building and having access to his brain for any questions, which I do want to point out. Like, even if you don't have a slice, you can still go and ask, like, hop in that Discord, that Last Slice Discord, and ask any of these questions that we have. They're happy to help. And I know that nobody likes to go around advertising what I'm saying right here, but like, the help is there. They're not going to be like, "Do you have a membership?" Like, they're generally really happy to help, especially like Dogman and now we got Madamus in there. Last round, they're all really happy to help. And the last thing I wanted to point out, and Kanessa, I'm so glad that you said something actually, because I wanted to make and I'm sorry for being so long winded, but like I said, I had so many thoughts pent up. But what was it, you were talking about learning Blender and using Blender and how the limitations of not having a mouse with a middle mouse wheel. And I remember when we were starting, someone told me that, and I was like, I thought I was screwed because I like using a laptop. And just recently, I switched back over to a desktop with a mouse. But no, for like over a year, I made all of my Blender stuff with a trackpad. And I was thinking about making a tutorial on how to do that. But I was like, that like some of these tutorials, I'm gonna get laughed at. But you know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it because it sounds like it's gonna help someone. The reason I say I'd get laughed at is because it would be like what, like a 30-second tutorial, like, "Hey, did you forget a mouse? You got a trackpad and you got to edit your I'm just making it the script on the spot, but like it just seems like it would just be. But no, it sounds like I think maybe I know a few important things that I'm gonna make a few little tutorial videos for. I made one for using GitHub Desktop, and that was just to help some friends in Last Slice. And I just thought I would publish it to YouTube, so I'm gonna try and do that some more. But yeah, that's all I got. Oh man, thank you guys for letting me talk.
Yeah, please do that. I mean, 30 seconds is honestly like that's in this day and age, that's probably most of the brain capacity that we have. If we can take in 30 seconds at a time, that's probably the best way to learn. I mean, a 2 hour tutorial doesn't sink in your brain nearly as much as that. Like as an educator, that I love that. Little bite-sized chunks, and really like things that you might, you might think, oh, that's silly, that's funny, but that might really help somebody. So I think there's a lot of value in that. Some of the tutorials out there are by the best minds in the business, but they've been, once you've been doing Blender for 5 or 10 years, what I've seen in a lot of those tutorials is that they just breeze over something really small that, like I said, it might be a speed bump for them, but it's a roadblock for me. Like a lot of the tutorials that show you what keys they're doing. Well, if you miss one little stroke of that key and you're going so fast that the OBS doesn't pick up, like that literally happened to me in one of the tutorials by the best makers in Decentraland. But I missed that little step. And so I think also like we all are different learners, and I'm going to learn totally different. I might listen to KJ's video and I love it because she speaks calm and slow, but that video might not work well for Sinful. Maybe he needs, a different amount of energy, different amount of teaching. So I just, we can't have one. This is education's not one size fits all. So I think if you want to make it, do it.
I'll,
I wanted to, I just haven't done it. And yeah.
I'll do it. There
Go
will
ahead.
be heavy metal background music with lots of lights flashing and strobing, and I'll just make it different. Like it'll be perfect. No,
Hey,
but
so you know what what we need, man? We need some like TikTok, YouTube short, Mr. Beast style. We need the youngins. They don't want to hear from me like how to build. They need like flashy in your face style, that kind of stuff. Because I hate to say it, but that's the young people, the youngins like. So if we need more of that kind of like choppy, fast edit, quick stuff. Like we need a young YouTuber, streamer slash, I don't know, to like come and bring content.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot.
we
That's
need
hot.
Paris.
That's hot.
It's hot.
That's hot. This is hot.
Isn't Paris like
That's hot.
50
That's
years
really
old?
hot. That's hot.
Hey, I hear that you can be any age to run a grill. Okay,
That's hot.
that's hot.
That's hot.
Vanessa, as you were explaining the like a younger or like a different way of making like Blender videos, all I was imagining was like, "Hey friends, want to make a couch? Yeah, use this tool. Adjust, press R. The entire time, just like everything you say is like super like enthusiastic, like over the top."
Like Crazy Carl or Mad Max having a car sale.
Yeah. Uh, if you
Gosh,
fuck up,
yes.
press Alt Z.
Maybe I could just hire a high schooler since I have ties with like young folk. Maybe I could just find them. They'd be like, "But I don't do Decentraland." I'd be like, "I don't care. I need your youth and your energy. So here's your
Say these
script.
words.
Get
Yeah.
excited."
Oh, did you guys see the bikes? Did you guys see the bikes that I made?
No.
Okay, one sec. I'm finding them. I'm finding them. So Last Slice in World Builder coming soon. You guys mentioned it a couple times. Where is this post?
And I'm going to mention it again to you.
Yeah,
I've said it to me, so I've said it to others. Laustrom. I want to be a tester when the time comes.
absolutely. Yeah, they're gonna be putting together something as soon as the coding team has that set up. I know they've got the asset uploading, but they're definitely not at a point where they could show it off yet. Okay, here it is. Post that up there. So we've just been building assets for this in-world builder. And I don't know. I wanted to start off with I did some skateboards, some surfboards, and some bikes, just things that you could shred with. That's been my general theme, and this post kind of shows off the BMX and the beach cruiser. Comes in a few different colors. These will be CCO assets. You could actually find them right now on GitHub if you do a little bit of hunting. If you guys want to throw them in your build, they come with colliders, which could be deactivated within Blender. You could custom color it within Blender. You could do whatever you want with it. But these are going to be some of the awesome items that will be available for use, so that you can hop into Decentraland. You can hop onto a parcel or a specific zone, start building what you want to put on your parcel, and then just export it and bounce it over. And it's gonna be working for Worlds too. So I know a lot of people were asking, is it just for Genesis City, or is it for much bigger Worlds builds too? And it's for both. And actually, us 3D modelers have been creating larger assets with worlds in mind. So something that won't fit on a 1x1, maybe we've got a few of those too. There's going to be a few ways to build your stuff out. But yeah, the goal is going to be to get rid of the concept of programming. There's going to be custom like if thens at some point where hopefully there won't be any code, no more code, goodbye code completely. But yeah, we're just getting started. We're a couple months in. I believe we're actually like a little over 1 month in, so like not that far. But it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, we're still cooking. That's Last Slice.
Inquiring wants inquiring minds want to know: will there be gnomes?
I saw there was a list that was curated where some gnomes were on it, and I passed on the word. I know Kurzos did a lot of animals already. I want to say, was there a lemur on that list? I think there was a lemur, and she's already
There
done
damn
one.
well should have been.
So we'll bounce his list off the next meeting that we have, because there were some bangers. I see you guys are sneaking in the barbecue equipment. I think that's a great idea. If anyone has something that you would benefit from, like let's say that you're an old guy with a barbecue and you want somebody to build you a barbecue for free, add it to the list and it might get thrown in there. You might get to say I was the originator, the idea man behind the barbecue that is in the DCL in world builder. So yeah, add your ideas on there. Feel free to post them up, and I'll bring them to the team. We'll see what we can do.
And propane accessories.
Of course, Hank Hill, perfect.
Mew Shrine in the disguise of a statue of a cat.
I'm taking notes.
Yep, yep. Definitely need that.
No,
That
but if you guys have serious ideas, post it to that list. I know One Existence did it. Like right on that bike post, you could post them on there.
A donut sun.
That was like the first thing on the list. A donut sun. That was like the first thing we thought of, dude.
yeah, it's probably already been made.
Can't we like just replace the sun in Decentraland with a donut? Like, couldn't we eventually get to that point where you can modify like the environment that you see? So like it can be a cloudy day, it can be a sunny day, it can be a like cloudy with a chance of meatballs. But like you could just take the sun and like change it out so it's a donut, not a sun.
I mean, Decentraland ghosted me on my Eclipse comment, so I'm gonna say no.
I wanted to eat that pumpkin donut I made for you, Canessa. That frosting
Wait,
was
I
good
didn't
on it.
I didn't see that. I don't know
You
if I
didn't?
saw. I don't know if I saw
Oh,
that. No.
all right. I'll grab it. Did you saw your Mew, right, Sinful?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I mean, usually donuts they catch my attention, but I don't know. So let's see, Dr. Drip, in the in-world builder, are there going to be smart objects or like not smart objects? I guess that's smart objects, kind of like the ones that are in the builder anyway, the that like have actionable events.
So as far as what I've seen made already, there's a few animated items from the 3D team, and there's going to be more animated items. Now, which of those regular items and which of those animated items then get also turned into a smart item. I'm not sure. I know that smart items is on the list, but I believe that there's talks of, and nothing solidified yet, but I believe there's talks of different actions that can be assigned to items. So maybe nothing will be a smart item because you'll be able to assign actions to anything. And this is, again, this is, these are just talks. I'm not sure what they will end up on, but yes, there are talks to integrate some. They had a term for it too, but it's basically an if then statement so that you could assign any action. If something happens, then an action happens. So that's really exciting. I know a lot of this project is heavy programming stuff. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of really crazy stuff that they're integrating. And they've already got like this really advanced UI panel set up. And I believe they've made a post kind of showing off a few of the features, and they're going to continue to be doing that. Like, um, for example, they'll just show off one icon that's on the UI and explain to you what it does, so that people will have a little bit of familiarity as they go.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it seems like you would want to have you'd want to have a lot of those tools also. Like I feel like one of the biggest needs for something like that is like a teleportation device or an elevator or something like, if the avatar steps on it, then they go to these coordinates, something like that within builds. I just, that is like one piece that in the builder I have always wished that we had more of. So cool. Just making sure that there's other ways that they can put that in there.
Oh yeah, there's a list of those, some of those too. I'm not exactly sure what's on that list, since that's going to be later on. The first thing that they're focusing on is not only building a build with these assets that we're building, but they're also focusing heavily on custom asset uploading, so that your donut that you make, you're going to be able to upload it and throw it into the build. That's something that's really important as well. It's not just like yeah, obviously it's got to have a lot of the custom assets, because they want to go on and open it up into a marketplace for those assets. So you might even be able to sell that donut, or even there's been talks of opening it up to sounds. So maybe you could sell soundscapes on there, or different assets of all kinds. So we'll see what that ends up on. But yeah, that's what we're starting with, is just a general builder, drag and drop, super easy, um, and then all the smart stuff.
That's awesome. I love it. If you could, like if the use case can be proven for those 3D assets there, if there's, we were talking earlier, maybe before you got here, about a 3D marketplace in world. But yeah, that would be cool to see like a use case somewhere to prove that it's possible. And that also makes me think of a recent proposal. I know it's kind of totally segueing from in world builder, but the recent proposal, um, somebody was trying to find a way that they could mint NFTs that were tied to coins. And I'm going to say that wrong, but I think it was something along those lines. Like they had old, like really rare coins, and they were going to make NFTs that were attached to those, and they were looking for a marketplace where they could sell those. And at first I was like, I don't understand. Like I couldn't follow it. But then like my eyes were open and I realized, oh my gosh, yeah, like what if there was a art marketplace in Decentraland, like on the Mana, like Poly Mana or ETH Mana, whatever, blockchain, where if I had an NFT project and I want to make like artwork, and maybe I make, I don't know, or like some kind of variation on a donut, every day, like 500 different donuts. And I want to sell those. But if I go to OpenSea, well, then it's like takes it away from Decentraland. Everything I buy and sell goes through OpenSea. Or I could go to Tezos, and then I'm buying and selling with Tezos or Object or any of these other sites. But why not have it in Decentraland? And then I could just, that it could be a Decentraland native marketplace for like NFT art. And I'm not talking GLBs and wearables and emotes. I'm talking like your NFT artwork, your pencil and paper that you take a picture of and convert it into an NFT. Why can't we do that? Like that, it's not my idea. It's, I think the person's name is Dana. Yeah. So anyway, it's like, wow, why aren't we doing that? That would be such a good way to like open up the landscape. Because if I mean, I'm an artist. I don't share a lot of my art here because it'd be pretty easy to dox myself to, like in the real world. But I'd love to like have some of my art here. And if given the choice, I'd much rather buy it and sell it in Decentraland. Like, you can only buy it and sell it here rather than take it to Tezos or Object or OpenSea. So anyway, food for
Yeah,
thought.
that's a really good idea, and I feel like, you know, there's been different mint experiences. Let's say, you've got the kind where you wait for the reveal. You got one like Vipe where it's like really unique, where you're rolling before you're minting. There's these different experiences that we have, and we have, memories of them, as you could think back to different experiences that you've had. So it has like a visceral effect, but think of what kind of a different effect it would have being in a 3D space to mint. So I think back to when we were going to grab drops from Wilderness. Like, they would have in-game mints, and you would go and you would, stand in line, and you were there, and it was a little bit different than just clicking mint on a website. And I think that what you're saying and opening that up to traditional JPEG flat PFP projects would be really beneficial, and could, give a lot of those projects a home, and a way into the metaverse. I know a lot of them don't even realize the potential of the metaverse plus the PFP, or the metaverse plus the avatar yet. And I think it's because there's not enough tools. And I think your idea, uh, and I know you said it's not your idea, but the idea that you just brought up about, opening those tools up, I think that's great. And also, I think it's very possible because Angzar, Last Slice's Angzar, does exactly that, except that it's specifically focused on the smart contracts for land and names and wearables. And when you go in there and you go in that little hut, you can literally see, each different spot for, like, each one of those huts is loading a different smart contract. So the only difference between what you're saying and what they already have there is setting it was, and I might be just blowing smoke here, so don't quote me. Call me Dr. Speculate today, because I'm just, but in theory, all you need to do is change that contract, and you could potentially load up these JPEG NFTs, just like that JPEG NFT loader that's in the builder. The traditional one with the white glow around it. We already have calls to those Ethereum smart contracts. So yeah, I think what you're saying is beneficial, and it could be done. It's just a matter of, we we only have one Lastrum. We only have, one Dapcraft team. We're limited, so it's like, who's gonna step up and do it? I'm not sure, but yeah, bringing up these ideas frequently, that is a way to get it started.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe there was a language barrier with the person who proposed this. And I think Jen invited them to the DAO Discord, because then Jen was like, yeah, like this is a great idea. And I believe they showed up this week, but I'm not sure. So I think there's always a lot of good ideas out there, and probably a big part of implementation is just like getting somebody that's going to take it to the next step. But definitely, like, I've thought about, like, where will I host my art when I finally get my NFT project slowly moving along, when I finally get it done, like, where, okay, like, I've thought about asking Rustan, like, what do you think? Is Tezos better? Like, is there a benefit? I know OpenSea is expensive, but dang, if we could just keep stuff at home, where then if you had an NFT gallery in Decentraland, then it actually makes sense. Like, otherwise, all of those NFTs, they're linking you away. They're linking you out of DCL. So why not just link it here? Like, I could totally see it where you go to the main Decentraland page on the website, and it says marketplace, and then it's got collectibles, lands, you know, and within the collectibles, maybe it's got like, okay, wearables, emotes, um, yeah, I don't know what they'd call it, NFT marketplace. And maybe it's even just more seamless where then if you have the frame in your land to put a call out to that where it's, oh my gosh, I could see like entire districts. Let's have the NFT district where the entire district is all of the stuff in the marketplace. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, that's we're coming up with these ideas. It's great when you don't know what it takes to get that shit done. Because to me, it's like, yeah, why haven't we done this? We should totally do this. You know, there's probably people behind the scenes that are like, yep, we tried it. It's too hard, or it's impossible, or whatever, blah blah blah. But I'm gonna keep bringing that one up. I'm gonna let it ruminate and see what happens.
Your donut and some of the other ones I did are up above.
Oh, that's awesome. I missed this. I did not see it. Oh my gosh. Oh, I want that donut. I want to make that in a pumpkin. That's cool. Thank you. It's so funny. I mean, I do love donuts, but I usually just bring up donuts because they're like so non-threatening. It's like something everybody understands, and I can refer to the Dow and talk about donuts and donuts, and it doesn't usually doesn't offend anybody. Um, and I really do love donuts, so thank you. And let's see, Cowboy Tom, welcome to you've got the floor.
Hey, what's good, family? Blessings, everyone. I think your idea is amazing, especially if we focus on like music NFTs. I think we can really like kind of corner that market. Being that we stream so much music, and into Decentraland. I think that's where we should really make our focus is music NFTs, so that artists who perform in DCL can send people right over to the marketplace and purchase whatever songs they heard.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would be cool to have a jukebox too, where then like you could maybe play some of those songs that are on there. I'm gonna look this up right now and try to pin it because it is, yeah, just it's not my idea. It is somebody else's, and I want to make sure that I'm just like amplifying their idea.
As far as the development side, it wouldn't be too bad. Um, I mean, like that's why you see a lot of marketplaces popping up. I mean, it's fairly, if you're a good developer, you can definitely knock it out. I would just, I don't know how that would, attach to like DCL's, like what they do. I think that would be like, how do you connect the marketplace? Because me looking as a developer, like I would probably build the marketplace separately and then connect it to DCL. I mean, that's the way I would probably approach it. But there might be a way to kind of like put it all together.
Yeah, I mean, I know nothing about smart like the behind the scenes smart contracts, but it seems to me like it would be, you know, along the lines of whatever we do for wearables and emotes. That it's probably a matter of giving it the space that it would need, and then putting, you know, a team behind it to make sure that it runs properly and there's no, you know, liabilities, no snags that could potentially be harmful. But yeah, I'm gonna look for this. Let me see.
I would definitely put up a poll or and then eventually a grant for that. I think people would totally get behind it. And I'm sure we have people in the community that can build it.
Well, if it's just in-world minting, I believe so. There's actually I was running around world. The reason I say it this way, I don't know if it's an awesome repo or like where this is, but I was running around world and I came across some random parcel, and it was like, would you like to mint a name? And you could type your name right there and click mint. And I clicked it and it brought up the transaction, and I didn't know that you could do that, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of application where people have in-game name minting, and if that's the case, wouldn't that just be a few digits off from minting, a custom NFT contract? Another thing, which is a whole different avenue, which we might be cooking up an idea here. Something that might be interesting as well for these events, in addition to NFT minting, is rewards like drops, airdrops, and stuff. And I know that Decentraland has, I believe it was Nico that said Decentraland will be getting access to the reward server. So that means that when you come to, let's say, a Vroomway Social Friday and you pull up, there's going to be, claim machines that are through Decentraland. I guess Roomway was a bad example because we already have claim machines. But let's say that Fresh Mint, or let's say that one of your 1x1 parcels, you just want to throw something together. You're going to be able to create your own claim machines. And they said that that's coming soon. I even heard that it's before the end of the year it's coming. But my question would be, can is it far off to suggest that maybe we could load that up with our own custom Polygon NFTs so that JTV had that bot that I believe Dr. Mr. Ham wrote, and that bot, you could load it up with. I mean, they were slinging out waifumons using that thing, and it was really cool. So, what if there was something like that in game? And people have done these things. These are all things that have been done. So it's like, who's going to come and connect it all and just finish it off and polish it up and get it going? But yeah, my question would be to Decentraland: will we have a way to connect these custom, whether it's Polygon or Ethereum contracts as well, so that people can come to the event and have a chance to roll, one of these really sick custom, I don't know, even a CloneX NFT or a vial, right? Like let's raffle off a vial, and everyone who completes the parkour and gets to the end and clicks the magic thing is entered, and I don't have to sit there with a wheel spin or anything. It's all just integrated. That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, I think if we had those tools, we'd be using them a lot more. And I know for anybody that does giveaways, it's the wheel spinner. It's like we go to Web2, we go to Twitter, we go to, we go outside of Decentraland to do those things. So yeah, like we need to look at all the different ways that we can bring the content back into Decentraland. How can we do it in world? And AJ and I, for our Decentral Ed grant, that's what we're trying to do in Worldcast. And if for anybody that's, thank you for showing up. Like, we're running through the bugs because it's not perfect, and we're like, doggone it, like, here we go, we can't hear each other, we got to mute this tab, unmute that tab, and then mute this call. And it's like, it's hard, it's problematic, it's not efficient, but it's the tools that are in Decentraland. And so, like, if we can't use them, why would we expect anybody else to?
And then you have to deal with me bugging you because I can't even get in.
Oh, I know. Well, and like that's a learning experience, because then, yeah, not to go off on a tangent, but then, like, we can't have an event page unless we own land, because we're doing it in a world. And so then AJ rented his parcel to himself so that he could actually have a page. And then the rental contract ended, and we realized he still has access. So yeah, I don't know, a hack. If you want to bypass that, rent yourself land for a week. It After the week rental, you still have privileges. So if a foundation member listens to this, they will probably get rid of that. But there you go, life hack. Cowboy Tom.
Oh, my like button was frozen. I think rewards is a great point, because I think that really helps and incentivize people to come to DCL, and that's something I really want to work on, is how, like, when I get my land up and going, or if I partner with someone, how can I offer like rewards in Bitcoin or Ethereum, something that people know. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you use something that people are known and they actually trust, I think that would be a great way to onboard people. And I think Ice Poker does it well. How you have to buy a wearable to play, and then you can earn ice while you play. I think that using that blueprint can really do a lot for a lot of builders here in the space.
Yeah, I love that, and I love that. I think that rewards are a super important part of the recipe of metaverse events. I think that, like you said, music NFTs. We've got talented musicians that are minting their music, and it's an opportunity for us to own a piece of that artist's like validated authentic artwork. So that's only half the recipe though. Like making sales and having people buy the music, that's only half of it. Like the other half is what you can do in world, like the connection, being able to go in there and have Stony Eye, someone that I always looked up to, saying what up to me. It feels cool, and I could ask them a question and they'll respond, or going there and having a chance to win something rare and then being the one to get that. I think that once we have access to those kinds of rewards and we can literally reward people using blockchain for being at these events, we'll start to see growth. And then we could kind of advance these things and start making people work for them, right? Because not everyone needs to buy something. You should also, in my opinion, be able to earn something too. I love the pay to play. I also like a free to play option where I think back to Rustan's build, where if you had one of his VIP tokens, you could go through the teleporter and get upstairs. And don't worry, if you didn't have a token, you don't have to feel left out, because that's real too. People don't like being excluded. So all you have to do is hop on these invisible pads, and 5 pads later you're up top. So it's like there's an option for people to earn or still participate at least, without having to pay. And I think that's important too. That's why parkours are important. I know a lot of people hate parkours, but I think that that's one thing that has proved itself to be effective. And I say effective because you got to think about alt harvesting, which is something that I personally battled with the Coven Quest. And I could tell you guys a lot about what I mean, we handled that really well. We were really proud, but there's only so much that can be done. And I think that those are things that need to be accounted for when creating these events. And yeah, sometimes a tough parkour is the way to do it, the easiest way. But I think that there will be other types of events and other things that people can do in order to get these tokens. I think flexing that blockchain technology is going to be huge. I think that's going to be something that continues to grow the ecosystem. I think back to Samsung, which I'm sorry to say that they closed their doors. They went with the market, but they did some really amazing stuff. And if you guys think back to it, they had the mechanism where you got to choose what materials you picked up, and depending on the materials you picked up, that's what your final NFT would reflect at the end. So it's kind of similar to NFT vials, the artifact vials, affecting what your shoe is going to end up with. And I think like other deeper mechanisms like that will bring retention, so that now not only did you just have your one artist, you sold one song, like that's great, but now you incentivize people to come to your show, and that's great, but now you incentivize them to come to every show because they got to come and collect all these things because they got to finish it out, and they're going to get these looking back to Samsung, these Samsung NFTs that are hopefully worth money one day. I don't like to talk about the investment side of it. I like to discourage that. But hopefully, that's on the back of their mind too. So I think there's a lot more to what's going on. I think there's a lot of key players that have shown off little instances of what's possible. But I think that there's still some recipe out there that we need to be bringing in together. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we put together with these kind of incentivized events.
So I almost made it through the space without mentioning another platform, but this talk triggers something. So it goes by The Man Who Sold the World, which is by far the most decentralized metaverse platform I've come across. It is similar to Decentraland in that you go in and you can walk the entire place, and for the most part, you have to. There's no portals. There's some when you go in, but they're limited as to where they go, and that's part of that metaverse. They nicknamed it the Sufferverse. But the interesting thing is, um, in world they have uh, faucets because you have to collect resources in order to do some certain things in this metaverse, and it's all on blockchain, which leads to their VP in their DAO. So you can own a bunch of land, but if you don't go in, somebody who owns a little bit of land but is very active and collects at those faucets, it registers and they gain VP. So you could get more VP than land whale because it's registered on the blockchain every time you do that. That was something I was thinking about. Could that be something in Decentraland? But it sounds like that would be this as well. And hopefully maybe the DAO we could do something like that because it's been talked about being active should equal VP. Just a thought.
How do they counteract the whole get into parcel and AFK for hours part of the?
It's just the register. It's just the registering. I don't know how much you get for it. I can find out because I'm actually wanting. I want them, and I want to reach out to Mona Verse, and I want to have a DAO discussion for metaverse platforms. To follow up because after I had a huge space. Oh my God, I was beyond any expectation I had. It was wonderful. And I got people were telling me I need to do more than just once a year. So I started thinking about, well, what could I do next anyway? And once I heard that's how their DAO works, I'm like, yeah, I think it's got to be that. So we can compare notes and um, find out what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and vice versa. So the AFK thing isn't an issue because it's based on every faucet. As long as you're going running around collecting from the faucets, you're getting VP. Same would be with this then. You're going to events, you collect a POAP, it's registered on the blockchain. It should be fair enough to accumulate the VP, I think.
Well, and doesn't DCL metrics do something to combat like AFK, where if you spend too much time in a scene without moving, then it registers that as AFK. Like you actually have to be moving and interacting. I mean, it should have that ability to determine, is it like organic movement, or is it just you brought your bot in with your bot farm and you got your 10 or 20 accounts sitting there. I would imagine that we'd be able to tell by like coordinates and then keystrokes that something is moving or not.
But it sounds like with what you guys are talking about, that wouldn't be necessary because you're interacting with the blockchain. Blockchain don't lie.
I'd love to see something like that, but like what about like staking? Like if you joined a staking pool, like if you like a Cardano staking pool or Ethereum, and but somehow it was staking it like in Decentraland, like physically, where I don't know, then you get some of those staking rewards for your participation. The more you participate, the more, and some kind of like, I don't know, sliding scale where if you have to put your mana in to stake it, goes into the pool, and then based on your participation, you get some of that return. But I don't know. I don't know if that would work.
What if we go back to Biometa? What Biometa was saying about the avatars add to the megabytes on a plot. What if staking on your land adds to your scene?
Yeah, how would that work though? With like the
With
whole like staking in a pool is you're putting money, you're putting your coins in, and it's going into a pool. How would that work in
I'm
your mind?
I'm not that guy, but I don't see why it couldn't work. Until somebody who knows the ins and outs tells me that's not possible, I think it's possible.
Well, I could see it being something along. I mean, I mean, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it's a bad idea. But I'm just thinking, like, dang, what if you created a stake pool of some sort where, like, you're like, hey, I believe in these people. I believe in these brands. I want, Sinful Media. I want whatever Canessa does. I want KJ Walker there. I want Mr. Sway. And like you all, come into the stake pool together. And then like, I don't know, like I'm just literally just coming up with ideas here. But then what if it's a percentage of like, hey, my emotes really take off. I sell a whole bunch of them. But like all of these people believed in me enough to be in this pool with me, so I'm not the only one benefiting because maybe I got help from them to like cover the publishing costs, or I could see something like a collectives coming together. And
So
yeah, I don't know, I don't even know what I'm talking about here,
so
but
for the Day of the Dead event that VJ Deliria threw in Spotty Wi-Fi. So there's a collection of artists. She asked me if I would participate. We all donate whatever we created. She put it on a platform called TIA, TEIA, and the way it's set up, it has a collaboration smart contract of some sorts where everybody who contributed a piece to this collection has to sign off of it on it when it gets minted, because regardless of whether it's yours or not, if something sells, it's split among everybody that's involved in this. So to your point, something like that is possible. You guys would share.
yeah, you know what, I should aim low. I should just be like, hey, can we have multiple beneficiaries of a wearable when it's sold? Can I just split it to like myself and the person that I collab with? I would love it if we could just do that. Otherwise, it that would make it so much easier so that like Fancy and I can go into business together someday. Multi-sig wallet.
I see Canessa and Fancy being like the biggest DCL wearable renters out there. And like that's the business, like renting out what both of you have pulled.
Hey, we have talked about it behind the scenes a lot. The day that
Oh
we can rent,
damn,
Fancy and I.
I'm spilling the alpha then.
No, we got so much. We got yeah. Um, but then also, what was that recent post Mariana said we have to like claim taxes on our wearables, and I don't know what wearables are, and neither does Fancy. So you'll have to teach us what those are.
They're digital collectibles.
I still don't understand. I don't know.
No, I don't either. Hey, what's up, Cowboy Tom? I see you keep like getting like kicked and come back and kicked. What up,
I don't
man?
know, man. This shit retarded, bro. It's $50 billion piece of junk. I can't believe this dude paid so much money for this shit, bro. This shit is crazy. Um, but going back to Canessa's point, from a dev standpoint, the way I would probably do it is just keep it simple. You do an NFT collection, and the people who hold the NFT are basically like in a pool with you. And when that NFT project or whatever that is bringing in revenue, when that revenue comes in, if it's a small collection, you can manually just airdrop everyone rewards. You can just do a mass airdrop using Disperse app, or you can have it in a smart contract that these all these NFTs get split. The revenue gets split among them too. But I would just simplify it. If it's a small collection, I would just manually do airdrops as revenue comes in, and you pick a day per month or per week where when you actually do payouts. and just keep it simple like that. A larger collection, definitely. I would put it in the smart contract. But if you're like under 1,000 in the collection or under 500 or something like that, it'd probably be easier to use Disperse app.
How about I would call it the Sugar Mama app. Like, what if I could have a collective and I pay the wearable submission fee for people, and then it helps them publish their stuff, but then there's like a percentage back. Like I guess basically make some dApps for like angel investors or people that want to like build the platform, but do it in like a frictionless, smart contract way. I just there's so much conversation we've had around these, like the marketplace and smart contracts. I feel like if Decentraland chooses to dive into that and like build that out further, there could be some. Well, it's the NFT space. There's a lot of like open frontier yet
That's
ahead of
hot.
us.
Yeah, it might just work. DCL might not actually have to do anything on their end. You might be able to do everything you're talking about in an NFT contract. And I can definitely connect you with other devs that I know who are even more versed in it than me and could tell you if it's possible or not. Because I've seen stuff like this before in smart contracts and NFTs and tokens. My specialty is tokens. You can put redistribution of whatever comes in through that smart contract back to holders very easily. It's only a few lines of code. So I think that it's very possible for sure without having to do anything on the DCL end.
That's hot.
Oh, one exists. I think you got the mic. That's awesome. Yeah, Cowboy Tom. I look forward to what people can create. I did, by the way, post the link to that governance proposal, since I just want to be clear, it's not my idea. I just really like it, but it is. Oh, what's the name of the person?
That's hot.
Oh my gosh, you are inspiring me. One exists.
That's hot. That's hot.
I keep looking back because, like, I swear I've heard some of these voices before. But so I'm like, did they come up and just to say that's hot?
I have ideas,
They
but I don't
did.
even want to say it right now because yep. Zoop.
That's hot.
We need Tobik to come in and play my AI voice. That's hot.
That's hot. That's hot.
Alrighty. Well,
Okay,
I
okay,
guess
man.
I guess on this note, sugar level is low. Doesn't seem like anyone else has like requested to come up to speak and introduce themselves or share any topics. So I guess maybe it's a good time to start closing out.
No, don't go.
No, don't go. Mariana might save the space here. She's like one of the you know how like streamers have those subathons, and it's like every sub you make puts 5 minutes in the timer. That's
That's hot.
Mariana's coming up
Mariana.
to be the one that saves the subathon.
Mariana, the legend, man.
Hello.
Hey, hello, buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Buenos
That's hot.
tardes. Actually, it's buenos tardes now because it's afternoon.
It's always GM
That's hot.
in Web3.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up a topic of like a potential idea, but like along the lines of a event questing game, right? Like for copyright reasons, let's not go with Survivor, Big Brother, or Squid Games, but something like those three, where
Does it involve a Canessa Mariana DJ set?
It will. Yes, that will be one of the requirements. But yeah, I just thought I would bring that up with the future of questing being possible in the Decentraland. I would like to see that come true or become more useful for some events, because I feel like right now events are just the same. And sorry, Drip, but I do not agree with parkour being a great idea for events because they suck. Like literally today, I couldn't even get up Canessa's spiral to get to the CBD build. So we need some more handicap elevators, please. But yeah, I don't know where I was gonna go with this, but for ideas for future events, let's get some questing ideas, similar to like the Dapcraft one, but maybe more so elimination style, right? Like the last person to tweet with a photo for using the camera loses $100 this round, or whatever. Or the first team that finishes how to build the emote together proceeds to the next round. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. But yeah.
Small around the house scavenger hunt. You gotta find 4 items, put them together. First one to take a picture and send it.
Yeah, or like, the first person to run to like the bottom left corner of the map together with 5 people taking a photo, Something more interactive in that sense.
We need that. Means we need something like Key West with a thing that says the most southern point of Decentraland.
Yes. Oh, I don't think we have that, like a buoy, right? We should get something. We should
Nope.
get something to model that actually. Or like you've reached the like the North Pole has that sign, like you're at the top of the world. Like we need to get one of those in the Central Land, or like you're in the center. Well, hold on, is Genesis Plaza's in the center, but like we don't have a sign indicating that in Genesis Plaza, like you're in the center of the Central Land. So,
We need mile markers put out with little arrows pointing such and such this way, that way.
right. Also, I see Cowboy Tom has his hand up, so I don't want to. Maybe he has something to contribute to that.
No, it's all good. I kind of forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, does anybody got some land they want to sell me cheap?
There's lots of land out there. Do you need
Yeah, but
land?
the prices ain't, kind of like in my budget. I was looking on the marketplace.
Yeah, I'd say renting land is a really good way to go. Like you can rent some land for cheap.
Are you still renting land? I know you used to rent land, right?
You might be able to ask the Dow to loan you some for free for a while as well. They've accumulated a bunch, and it's supposed to be for the community.
Yeah, I'd say just the quickest and most seamless way is to rent. Like just look up some rental. I did 6 months on a 3-piece parcel for $50. And
Really? I'll take that deal. You got that deal? I'll
no,
take
I
that
took
deal.
that deal. You get your own deal. I took that deal. I'm sure there's others like it. Yeah. Once you rent it, you can't change it. I can't change. There are like limitations behind land rental. Um, but I'd say that's a good place to start. Or like One Exists said, but that is for grant recipients. So I hope that they don't. I hope they stick
That
to what they said that was going to be for.
that was not my understanding. That was one of the things, unless it is written in whatever kind of stone or whatever that it's for grant proposals only. I don't see that many grants asking to use land. My understanding when I voted was that it would be open. Anybody who wants to use it would have to apply, and it would be voted upon by the community. The duration, if it's free or cheap rent, and whether and what it's being used for.
Yeah. I
Type
don't
thing.
even know if there's like a process in place for that. Like, yeah, they bought up all the land, but like there's no procedure yet. Like there's no additional like core, like how there's like those like options to submit a proposal. Like there's no like request a DAO land feature. So I wonder how that would. I wonder if that's like a back end conversation with like the DAO committee to set up, and then they bless your proposal. Like, yeah, go ahead, write your proposal.
The confusion here is that there was a proposal that passed to buy land, and then there was a number of proposals, like pre and draft proposals, about like what to do with the purchased land. There was never a past governance proposal, but actually the use of the land. So the DAO just owns a bunch of land, and there is no like how to use it or like actual rules around it, because the actual and they've also since passed a new proposal to stop buying land. But just to clarify, they didn't actually start buying the land with a plan on how to use it. And HP has also validated my belief with his own comments about on-chain things, but that it was mostly just like a ploy for the dude who was like really passionate about it to like offload some land to the DAO for like the best price he could get. But that's just a conspiracy theory until someone teaches me proper on-chain detective work. But anyway,
I knew DAO talk would get you up here.
well, I just wanted to clarify. Unless in the last
Yes,
2 weeks there's been some
I
hot
appreciate it.
changes since I've been, excommunicated.
I appreciate it. I knew, that's why I said that, because I knew if anybody knew in that room, it would probably be you. So thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, but this is not for just the land. Like, everything has been so backwards in the DAO. Like, oh, let's make a proposal with this, but like, let's not have a preliminary plan to, have it be once it's enacted to have it, run. It's like so freaking frustrating, from the land to the whole grant system. Like, they should have had like a better accountability like they should have had a grant support squad day zero before they even made a grant support or before they made a grants program. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So everything is just freaking backwards, and it's like, it really annoys me every single day, to be honest. That's my TED Talk. And we need better leadership. Go leadership.
Facts on that. And I think we definitely gotta have like at least like a marketing team and maybe even like a CPA full time or something. You know what I'm saying? I think there is some key positions that, even though we're trying to stay decentralized, like you do still need a leader in some capacity so that things can get done in a timely fashion, and that we keep up with the times too, because tech moves at a lightning speed. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what kind of like scares me the most, is that we're not moving fast enough. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of falling behind, and definitely some leadership. We can vote those people in. I mean, it could still be a democracy, and you vote them in. But just like you have a committee for, like I just recently saw a grant get revoked. There's a committee for that. Well, there should be a committee for marketing and other, things that should be taken care of. I mean, I want to see Decentraland commercials on TV, and a lot of marketing is actually super cheap. I was talking to One Existence about this. I mean, I did a Decentraland commercial personally on Discovery Plus app, and it was like $150 for 2 days. I mean, it was like nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like someone can easily put forth a grant or committee, spend 10 grand on marketing. It would go far. Like it would go so far. Like there's so much you can do, and even NFT weeks too. I would love to see some NFT week grants come up. Especially for like NYC. And we should have a booth there. We should have something set up where people can sit down and try the game out, and or have billboards up, something, like because people do know about Decentraland. I think we just have to like kind of re-jog their memory. You know what I'm saying? Because like when I do bring it up on Spaces, people know what it is. They just haven't like gone to the website in a very long time, or maybe they never did, but they know what it is. Like they know Decentraland has been around forever. So I think we have a good chance of like capturing a lot of other people in Web3, if we just did a little bit of marketing. 10, 20 grand of marketing would go a long way.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. And I posted a comment in the DAO like 2 days ago about the leadership. I mean, we don't necessarily need like a centralized team that we need to vote in, because I think right now people are kind of annoyed of voting people in to only handle that task. And I kind of like mentioned, like, we have like all these strategic planning calls like every single month or so. Like whoever in the community joins those calls can be considered like the key stakeholders in that conversation, or whatever. We have to make sure like the true people that know what they're talking about are attending those meetings too, to contribute some value. But like, and like I made a comment like, with the foundation, like the foundation has to have some sort of structure. Like, yeah, they're centralized, but like they need to have we need to kind of apply some sort of like foundation or business structure. Like, okay, Email is the CEO. Okay, who's my CFO? They have an accounting team. Okay, that accounting team works with the platform. Like, okay, how much is your budget? How much do we need? Like, there's no like discussion with any of this right now in the DAO, and it's making us more inefficient than efficient. So until we kind of figure out like a true structure, we're kind of just all, we're either going to be double working or like, we're being duplicative in our tasks, and there's just gonna be no communication. Like, I don't know, I'm just like rambling at this point, but
No, it's okay.
yeah, we just need like a better, like the most decentralized, but like the most decentralized, almost centralized group of individuals
I
making
think
these
that would be the
decisions,
key.
right? Because like,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, I think we should definitely hire people from the outside. Like outside marketing people. People who are not biased on Web3, and not, because in Web3 a lot of people are out for themselves. And they're biased against what they think is bullish. So definitely you need to bring in some unbiased people who can give everyone a reality shock about what it takes to be in business. You know what I'm saying? And run this like a business from their standpoint, so that we can continue to have fun and not care about the business standpoint of it.
Well, we have a bidding and tendering procedure for things like that, and which also people within Decentraland can also do. But it's, put together your proposal and what you feel you'll need to get it done, and then it goes up before the community, and we vote on which one we want.
No, for sure. I mean, I think that is just as simple as, like, for example, my one of my friends owns 3 restaurants. He just hired somebody to do social media full time for 60 grand a year for all his restaurants, and like she's kicking ass. He's getting tons of catering orders and stuff like that. So a little bit of money goes a very long way, especially like we have the money. You know what I'm saying? So to put someone full time from the outside world on this, to do marketing, to do at least social media. So we have our social media presence. We're posting every day. We're putting out new updates. I mean, just that alone goes a very long way. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen how fast my friend's business grew when he hired someone who knew what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the issue. The problem is trying to get people behind it. A lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like the feedback I get. People don't care for the business or whatever they want to be into. And I think that really, like, the brick wall that we hit, you know what I'm saying, is that people, you can't expect everyone to think like a business. So I think that we just got to figure it out. I mean, we just got to get enough people who would get behind it first before bringing it. But definitely little things like that. I mean, at least NFT week, you know what I'm saying? NFT week, we should have a presence at that event, have a booth, stuff like that. I mean, it's not going to take an arm and a leg and a kidney. It's just a little bit of money out of the DAO. And I'm sure a lot of people from DCL would volunteer, especially here in New York. We have a lot of New Yorkers. I'm sure they would never have a problem, running the booth, showing people how to play the game, stuff like that. And then also throw a big party. I was talking about this, with a couple of people too, is that, we should be one of the biggest parties. We're a platform for music and art, and like we got to act like it in the real world too. So, when NFT week comes around, especially NYC, like we should be throwing the biggest party, of the week. You know what I'm saying? Everyone should be coming to us, coming to that party. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that does a lot for the project, does a lot for Decentraland, gets eyes on it, so those are kind of like my ideas. I think we got to do a lot more in real life stuff, and then bring on some unbiased people to kind of just run the business, correctly.
Yeah, and with like the ambassador program pretty much going to be all of like next year, I think that's going to help with getting resources to those events to get the exposure. Even like NFT New York City, I mean, there's a few people in our community there as well that can do it either through the ambassador program or like maybe like through like a DAO grant. It's actually funny because like someone claiming to be Cameron Bale at NFT New York City made a proposal to make a Decentraland activation booth or whatever. Which it was like $50,000. I'm like, what the heck? Our community can do this for like probably like 10% of that, maybe even 5 if we're that conservative or good with budgeting. But I just was like baffled too, because like they literally did not promote or want any metaverse speakers. Like I was actually gonna try to apply for NFT New York City to talk about metaverse, but like it strictly says in their application like you cannot talk about the metaverse. Like it has to be only NFT related. I mean, I guess in a way you could kind of hide it, right? But I'm like, well, why would when they were like applying for the grant, or supposedly these people that say they are NFT New York City, I'm like, why are you guys promoting a activation booth for a platform or type of platform that you guys do not want any freaking panels on? Like if they had like a designated metaverse panel, like say like metaverse, hyperfi, spatial, Mona, then that would make sense to have all these like metaverses in like one room, because then people heard about them on the panels. It's just kind of backwards, I guess. But yeah. Go ahead, Cowboy.
Yeah, hey, what's up? I think you make a lot of good points, and like I didn't go to the conference, but I know the conference was packed. I know it was busy. But the real thing is the parties and the stuff that's going on outside the conference is where it's really at and where we can really capitalize. But I see Bio in the audience. I mean, I know Bio for sure. If we were able to get a grant going to do a booth or do whatever we need to do at NFT Week to have a good presence, Bio would definitely step up and be a leader on that for sure. I know that for a fact. He's here in New York City. I'm here in New York City, and we have a lot of goats here in New York City. So it's definitely something we should definitely try to get behind all together. Because like I'm opening a bar in New York City, so I'm gonna have a physical space we can use to throw parties. When NFT Week comes around, so we already have a physical space. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm already thinking about how I can stream that into Decentraland. My nights at the bar, and so if using what we already have available, and then on top of that, just having a presence at the conference, I think will also help. So, if anyone wants to, I'm not good at writing grants, but definitely if someone can help, me, and I'm sure Bio's on board with this, to put it together, and where we have an NFT conference, and we're at the NFT conference. Maybe we have a billboard up in New York City. Billboards are cheap, yo, dude. Billboards are $150. Like, there's so much we could be doing. You know what I'm saying, for so cheap, compared to like what I've seen get passed through the grant and nothing get done. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much we could be doing with the outside world. So, I think that's something we should definitely try to put together as a crew. And like I said, Bio I know would step up and be a leader on this. He already does a lot of in real life events. You know what I'm saying? This is my guy right here. And I'm sure he can definitely get it done, man. If Bio wants to come up and even
Yeah,
add to that.
yeah. I mean, I definitely also see like individuals like Seed being leaders in that as well. Like, I actually, Seed does have a lot of experience within that realm. So yeah, there are a lot of people in NYC, like there's Blease and Carol, Noodle. Damn, there's a whole portion. So yeah, most
50, 60
definitely.
people easily, bro. 50, 60 people. I met so many people from DCL at NFT Week, bro. Like, that's why I'm like, we got to have a presence. You know what I'm saying? Because our presence literally, and I'm just keep it 100%. You know what our presence was at the last NFT? Was Def the Tennis. Basically, was our presence. You know what I'm saying? And then we had Arlene's Grocery. So we had a couple events that I think we streamed into the metaverse, but nothing was DCL like focus, like where like DCL is the party. It's sponsored by DCL. So I think that's something we really got to work on is the marketing and stuff like that, on how we can get that out there and show people that we're still here. I think that's really what's holding us back, is that, remember, DCL had what, 5,000, few thousand people playing on DCL. So people know what DCL is. I think we just have to jog their memory and show them, hey, look, dude, we're having fun over here. Like, we're having a fucking blast over here. You guys need to come hang out, man. You remember this. You remember what this was like. Like, there's so much going on now. And I, just like me, I got into DCL very early, and then I left because I was like, there's nothing going on. And then I came back and I'm like, holy shit, people are streaming, people are doing music festivals. Like, I was blown away. So I think people just got to see where we're at right now.
Most definitely, most definitely. All right, guys. I'm tapping out for the day. I gotta get some food in me. It's been 4 hours. And yeah, just want to thank you all for being here today. A lot of you have been here for the entire time. Really appreciate your time and your support. And as usual, I'm just gonna pass it around for final thoughts. Um, I'll start off with Jared. Any final thoughts?
I forgot I was up here. Hope everyone has a lovely weekend. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Jared.
Jared.
Like kind of like the Jerry Springer show, except like
Yeah, that's
Jared,
yeah.
Jared, let's go. Okay, Jared, there's also an idea right there for you.
I think we already knew that people thought of me as the Jerry Springer of Decentraland. I think that makes sense.
uh, Now I'll pass it over to One Existence. Any final thoughts, dude?
Odd. That's odd. And yeah, if you want the dirt on Jared, I did an interview with him.
You want this,
Put it on.
Jared?
Put it on an article. You can get the real Jerry Springer experience.
Dude, we're
That's
I'm
about to
just
bring
trying to sell it. I'm
it,
just
bro.
trying to sell it.
Dude, we got to do a Jerry Springer show on DCL now, man. Like, we got to do it now. Like, this is like,
Odd.
we, yo, dude, we got to do that.
That's
That should
odd.
be so fucking funny, bro. We can
we
get some
gotta get
fucking.
we gotta get like a fighting emote, like you know how like when I guess let's say one person comes out from the back and then like runs at the person that's sitting, starts swinging. Like we need like a an emote that they can both do.
And we got to have Maury on. So we got to bring back
Oh,
Maury
the
and
like the
Jerry
hold me
Springer,
back
man.
emote. That's actually a good. I'm surprised there isn't a dude trying to fight and the dude hold me back emote. Like that seems like a great idea. Canessa.
It'd be
Yeah, we need
funny, like
Steve in there, dude. We got to have Steve, have a Steve wearable.
it'd be funny, like who's the baby, this person or this? I don't know, this cat emoji. I mean, this cat avatar or
Oh my
this
god.
Yo, there's a
freaking.
viral video where he's Maury's like, "You are not the father," and a dude does a backflip. That got to be one of the emotes.
You cheated on me with this squirrel avatar person.
Hello, Julianne. How are you this week?
Okay. um, since I'm up here, you know the you know how I know it's like Genesis Plaza and maybe other places where you could click on something, maybe the avatar, and then the what's it called? The like the conversation bubble appears and they're like say things like written down. You know what I'm talking about? Like, is there a way for us to do that in just the SDK or the new SDK, or you have to get like a programmer to like be able to have those avatars speaking in the comment bubbles?
Yeah, so that's actually the NPC UI. It is a part of the Awesome repository. But your question, do you need a programmer to install it and stuff? Yeah, you do. So it's kind of yes and yes. But it's available both SDK 6 and SDK 7. I really like the SDK 7 version. And there's a whole bunch of functionality that can be done. Like you can make it so when you click on it, it fires off a custom function. That's actually a lot of what powered my game jam entry, the cavern. If you go to change realm cavern.dcl.eth, it's still online, and that's like 90% of that quest is run by that NPC UI module.
Good. I guess if I ever need help, I could just ask around.
remind you, sinful needs sustenance, and that's hot.
Paris Hilton.
Yep, yep. Yeah, any more topics that any speakers would like to bring up before we close down?
My final thoughts, just in case you weren't going to ask me something.
Of course I was. I was headed right towards you, Mariana.
I was just gonna say, don't forget to start counting your wearable revenue and doing your taxes next year. Cause
Wait, are people making money here? I thought you had to be profitable to pay taxes.
you do, yes, you do have to have some capital gains in your wallet.
Surely that excludes the majority of the Decentraland community from having to worry about it.
Dude, I'm claiming a loss of about 2 million.
Yeah, well, exactly. Will someone please buy my wallet for $1 so that I can write this off when I finally have a win? That's what I'm going to be looking for. Because you have to sell. You still have to
Remind
sell
you,
it for 0
sinful
to get
needs
you paid for that.
sustenance, and that's hot.
Yeah, who is that?
That has to be one existence.
Yep. I see it
It
handed
has
back
to
up,
be.
Julianne.
Is that the definitive answer?
Yeah,
I was
because you brought up one existence in reference to the. Oh no, wait. Dr. Drip brought up one existence, or what brought up Paris Hilton. So I don't actually know why I'm so convinced it's you, but I'm still pretty sure it's you.
I was at the
It was
Bodyland party, and there's something where it sounded like someone had the ability to put like words on your screen temporarily. How do you do that? And
Those are the god powers, and you have to have build permissions to do that. And just probably never give that to me because I will totally abuse it. But it's whoever has like editor, like operator rights to the scene.
oh, so I could do that on my scenes then, right?
If you're deploying through the SDK, you could.
Hmm.
So you need a
That
programmer, is what you're saying.
Oh.
that one actually does require. I don't actually think that one's built in. That one requires the bouncer. It's called the bouncer module in the Awesome repo. And the general function, I believe that one also has the ability to. So you can post a custom message on the screen. And then you also get the ability to like remove players. It's like a bouncer, like a club bouncer, you know. So like, you could, and it bounces them by moving them to the spawn point of the parcels. So it's kind, more or less a not really a ban, but it does give you some sort of moderator abilities. It's called the bouncer plugin.
The SDK, they should just put. I don't know. They should, maybe Decentraland should just put that in, like, for anyone to just do it without any fancy coding. 'Cause that's kind of cool that you just like put a something on the screen like that. You're hosting a party or something like say if you want to do a giveaway during a party, you'd be like, watch the screen and you get the code to get the prize.
Yeah, I know Dogman actually modified a version to so that it's like a remote controller for like controlling light shows. And then I know MetaZoo did something like that where they actually made that, but then put something on the screen so that you could control. I believe they did it with, you guys remember the dances, changing the different dance emotes. They gave you a controller on screen for that. So there's some code bases floating around. I'm not sure if they've been like open sourced or publicized, but most of these devs, I think I've got a little piece of IZoo code floating around somewhere that someone gave me. So most of these devs will share. It's just a matter of asking the questions.
Oh, in
I
terms,
know it was pretty fun. Like when Rustan and I both had it on the Cove, we both spent like the entire time just like randomly kicking each other out. Because then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what happened? Why did I get out here? Like, oh no, did I crash? And then you're like, fuck, Rustan. And then you do it back to him. So, and then Julian, some people have the, let's see, Drip, would this be the bouncer jail? Like Rustan has a specific place set up where he sends you, or I know, didn't ACR have like a bouncer jail that he sent everybody to? Can you control where it spawns you?
Poat Prison.
Yes, you can. And also, I think Poe at prison was just a teleport. I'm not sure if he used but I'm sure he had the ability to. And yeah, that does let you change where they can teleport with some customization.
That's awesome. Thanks. And Julianne, did you have something else you wanted to say?
Yeah, in terms of like promoting, there's one thing that, I mean, I don't know if this is the right time to do it or not, but you know that tribe platform, like do something like that, that you get rewarded for like engagement or doing certain things on Twitter, and then by like if you get a certain amount of points, then you could exchange it for like say a little prize, like maybe in this case it could be a wearable or some NFT or something like that. Um, that would be it could be cute, but just gotta see what people want to do.
Yes, a mix of questing and like a Web3 rewards website for sure. Kind of what I was kind of getting with the questing that I mentioned like 30 minutes ago. But I love it.
I think everyone loves play to earn. Like if you're in a token community, especially, everyone talks about play to earn, and that's how I would run like the marketing is like play to earn, and E for BTC or something like that. You can give it to them on the Poly network, so the like fees are cheaper, and something like that where people know, and to kind of draw them in, and get them to hang out more, similar to what ice poker does, like you have to buy a wearable, and then you can make you can bank ice, and get rewarded in their own token. But using a token that everyone knows, I think would definitely go a lot further, especially Bitcoin, because a lot of normies know what Bitcoin is, and especially when Bitcoin is pumping, I think you take advantage of the market too. If you have Bitcoin pumping, everyone's talking about it. I think that's where you should be rewarding, and then maybe you can change the rewards, and cater it towards the market, whatever's pumping at the time. If it's ETH or if it's Bitcoin or whatever, give them that in rewards, or it could be Mana, because at least with Mana they can go right into the store and buy more wearables. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of choices, that we could be had there. But going, playing on that play to earn, which is everyone is like waiting for some project to drop a play to earn. We already have that here. You know what I'm saying? There's actively, take the True Band Room. Every time you go there, you get an NFT. Instead of getting an NFT, you get, airdrop, some Bitcoin or something, and it could be a tiny, tiny little bit amount. And it's just the thing is, how do you make it? How does it sustainability? What's the sustainability model? Excuse me, behind it. If you're having people purchase an NFT, maybe, and then you take some of that money that comes out of that NFT revenue, and turn it around, and airdrop it, as Bitcoin or whatever. Something like that would probably have to work. So that there's revenue coming in one side, and that's higher than what's going out. So you're actually making money at it. So there's, I'm gonna try to figure it out.
Yeah, with Tribe, it sounds like you could get like the points for making a Twitter post with, I guess would be the hashtag Decentraland, like where the official one is, and then you could also like make content, make a blog post, host a Twitter space, and probably some other things that they could choose to do that you get the points, and then if you get a certain amount of points first, you could choose different prizes. Like,
Yeah, I
um,
mean, it could be like 50 cents. Like say True Band Room, how they do it. You get airdrop a bunch of NFTs. Because I was looking at my wallet yesterday, and I was like, oh my god, I got like thousands of these shits. And so like let's say take that kind of model. Let's say if I just airdropped you like 50 cents in Bitcoin for every like show you came to. You know what I'm saying? Or 25 cents in Bitcoin, or 25 cents, it's a small amount, but if you keep coming and you keep showing up, it will, it's going to add up to a little something at the end of the year, where you can take that and maybe go buy an NFT, or go buy something, or buy a wearable. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm kind of like looking at it.
I'm still waiting for the
yeah.
day that I could earn trivia coins. I would literally be in world 24/7 if there was a trivia bank. Like not quiz zone, because quiz zone requires you to be with someone. But like yeah, like you're there individually accumulating trivia coins for a game. So yeah, I will be in Decentraland when that happens. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, trivia, Scrabble, Words with Friends. Like my mom is a total addict. It's insane. Like I did not see it coming. Growing up, she was like, "Get off the computer!" Like RuneScape is bad. Get off there. And so like seeing her go into the COVID lockdown and like really get into her app gaming, dude, I'm not even joking. She's like, "Oh yeah, I've got a little group of friends and we all play words with friends and I'm basically the leader." And I'm like, "Mom, you're a clan leader for oh my gosh, this is great." So, and she's spending spending money on this game, and I was like, what are you getting? Like, what are you getting out of basically the equivalent of Fortnite skins, right? It's just cosmetic. It doesn't help you word any better, right? And like it's just not something I expected to see a person like this find something that they like doing on online and wanting to throw money at it just for fun. And so seeing that happen with my mom, it's like, okay, when are the rest of them gonna find something that they like doing, like trivia or Scrabble, or we already did poker, we got chess. Like there's gonna be something when we get these games working right. Like there's got to be something where people start to look at what's going on. And I think that yeah, I don't know, I think I'm just starting to pick up on something that's cooking in the space. I guess this would be my turn to talk about a different perspective, because I didn't really want to I don't want to call it FUD. It's not FUD. But I totally agree with what Cowboy Tom said about marketing to an extent. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I agree with all of it. I think that it's all needed, and those are really great points. But then I can't help but contemplate the other side of it, where it's like, is Decentraland ready? If we do a Super Bowl commercial, are they gonna come in and I'm gonna be the one, you guys, the community manager guy is gonna be the one whose fingers are falling off his hands. Ask me why I know, like what happened last weekend. Like when there's issues and troubleshooting, like it gets gnarly, and it's not like the regulars that are like, "Yo, the claim's not working." Like these are people that are like, "This shit sucks." Like this is stupid. And like you guys see him come out at Metaverse Music Festival, and we do a really good job at making them feel special and getting involved, and a lot of times we can convert them into regular people. But a lot more of those come, and here I am feeling like I'm spreading FUD, because I think there's a lot of great things in Decentraland, but I think that we're currently going through a transition. If anyone knows, uh, there was some slicing and dicing that happened to the Decentraland team, and this is not the first layoff that's happened. And if you guys look at the trends, all kinds of companies are saying in this sector, are saying they laid off teams and cut their team by X%, and so it's happening. But I think that they're doing it because they're going to, and opinions are my own. Thank you for letting me state them. But I think that they're trying to clean up. They're trying to clean up house. And one hint that I have that makes me think that is they've produced more fixes and more content, more features that they've pumped out over the summer than, in my opinion, than they ever have. So I think that they're finally getting these teams together that are working in more effective ways, and just my opinion, but I think that if it is gonna pop, it's not gonna happen before Christmas, and if it does, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I think that what you're saying though, I think that people that are going to be able to have the ability to really show out and show up and show out for like the big festivals in the name of DCL and the metaverse. If what Mariana said is true, like they're limiting the number of metaverse people at these events, then that's one thing. But if they open that up, then hell yeah, we should be there. Um, and I think that people that have those skill sets should be stepping up and kind of getting in place. We've got Kanessa leading the ambassador program, which is a brand new thing. First time that we've got IRL faces, getting squared up to go hit the streets and go do this stuff. We've never done that before. So that's kind of we're kind of getting on course to get to really hit the ground running. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I think that if we ran those ads right now, I think that there would be a big lump of you know what on my desk come Monday. So it's just something to think about, and I could be wrong. Again, opinions are my own. If I end up providing some misinformation or something that's wrong today, well, it wasn't financial advice. But yeah, thank you for letting me be up here today and take part in the conversation. And that's also my finishing words too. Uh, but thank you guys.
Yeah, well said on everything, Drip. From the trivia, Scrabble to the performance, just everything that you said just resonated with everything that you said. So yeah, love it all.
So how would you define success here? Would it be more like active users on Decentraland? Would it be more people coming to this space? Would it be like more community building, or like if a particular event goes well? Like how would you define like what would make everything? What would a success metric be if important?
I think the things that you named are great starters, but I think that in this market, it's an uphill battle. I think that if we are gauging daily active users and things like that, well, first of all, we've got some weird analytics going on. Someone was asking, Canessa was asking if there's the ability to segregate data from AFK status, and there totally is. But to be honest, all of these data metric sites are kind of showing different numbers. So like, there's some weird stuff going on back there. So which is accurate and which is not? If we're really gauging these KPIs, it's kind of hard to say. And they're actively improving these platforms so that the numbers can be more accurate, and can show the same thing for everyone on these parcels. But in the meantime, it's a little bit rough looking at those KPIs because those are things that would indicate. I mean, it would be completely different during a bull run. When the trends are here, if you guys remember, the terms FOMO and all the hype, but not just the words, like what it was. If you guys remember, if you ever FOMO'd on anything, you jumped out of bed, you oh man, something happens to the brain and you kind of short circuit, and it's weird. You think differently. It does something to you. And when that comes back, all of these projects are going to be so it's like a greased up machine. And I think that right now we're practicing. And I think that success is going to look entirely different for each and every different project depending on what their goal is and what kind of content they're able to produce. So right now, like Cowboy Tom said, he's getting geared up to try and be an IRL venue, and I think that's sick. And I think that there is footwork to and conversations to be had beforehand. So that's great that that's what he's doing. I think and I hope that he'll find success with that. But I do think that yeah, it depends what you want to be doing, and starting small, and trying to find success, small successes, even if it's a small improvement from the prior week, or the last time you threw an event the year before. If you're looking at your own metrics, the number of people that attended, but also the number of people that, let's say you had a Twitter contest, or you did some giveaways and you had a number of entrants that you could validate were not alt accounts. That's something that I'm always looking at, is how many alt accounts are rolling through, because that's depressing when you look at some really impressive numbers and you find out the project was forged with alt numbers. And unfortunately, we're at a point where, I mean, you're forced to make a decision. Do you want to accept alts and fluff your data and hopefully dodge a bullet when the crowds come for you and say it's a bear market and your project is a failure because you got no numbers? Or are you going to fudge the numbers and not have to worry about that, but then have to worry about a house of cards later, when people find out that no one was actually ever playing your game or going to your event? So I mean, yeah, decisions to be made. But yeah, I think that this is all practice, and it's a matter of just trying something and then trying to improve it.
Yeah, I like that idea that it's like depends on what each individuals would define as success for their particular, I guess, event or whatever they're doing here, and then like probably the more success stories we have, if they're different, could just contribute to the whole benefit of everyone, especially if we create buzz around it.
Right, because a music event, people are going to go there, they're going to have an amazing time because of the music. And maybe a play to earn game is not going to have the music. They're going to be trying to wow the crowd with, fun gameplay. And then we're all going to be learning from each other too and saying, "Oh, that looked effective. Oh, I love what Artifact did with the vials." And taking something like, or the Samsung build that I mentioned earlier. Um, we're all kind of learning as we go, and I think that yeah, sorry for reiterating. It's a matter of trial and error.
I have to go. I can't watch Sinful Fate away, but please, motivate responsibly. Set your clocks back and stay hot.
At first, I thought it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, but now it sounds like Putin.
Sounds like my dad.
It was Ukrainian just for you, Mariana.
Thank you so much. I like.
Oh, oops.
They're similar, at least as far as we're concerned.
Okay.
Don't yeah, don't worry about it, Julia.
Alrighty, sounds like we're just around wrapping up the current topic here. Am I correct?
I am dropping off, so that's one less.
That
I
is,
think we're gonna drop off one way or another, either out of hunger and low blood sugar, or voluntarily. So, yep, it's been a great space today. I think we can wrap it up.
gonna wrap it up. Wrap it up. Okay, let's see. We've heard from One Exists, Dr. Drip. Have we heard from Cowboy? Do you have any final thoughts? Not at this very moment, maybe, or he's fumbling with the mute button. But I'll pass it over to Dr. Drip.
Yeah, real quick, I did want to say that on the 18th and 19th of this month is Complex Con, which is a streetwear convention at the Long Beach Convention Center in Southern California. Artifacts will be present there. They'll have a booth. They will also have a VIP party Saturday night. I plan to go. I'll be with M. And we'll probably be with Rustan because he's taller than both of us, so he makes it really easy to navigate the crowds. But if anyone's showing up, we'd love to meet up. Yeah, just let us know.
Wait,
Thanks.
Rustan is tall? Like, is he like 6 feet tall? Like, can you give us some more Rustan Alpha? Canessa,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
this too.
The alpha. He's
I,
something like he's like 8 feet tall, and I'm like 3 feet tall, something like
oh
that.
my gosh, I don't think so. I guess it depends on how tall you are.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I was shocked when I met Brandon. I thought 6 foot tall. Just
Isn't
that's all
he
I know.
6 foot tall? Like,
He's maybe 5'10".
No,
uh,
he's shorter than that. He's shorter than that.
I know. I was.
he
I
tells
was
he
just,
tells us all the time. He tells us all the time. It's not a secret.
Okay, yeah, no, I hear I think I'm the same height as Brandon.
I have no height issues other than if I'm up too high.
We should have like a guessing game, like guess the height for each
Canessa
one of
is like 6'5".
us.
Um,
I don't
I, gi- I,
know.
gi- I give you like maybe 170 all muscle. Um, have ran like 3 triathlons
With a donut in my hand.
with the donut with the yeah with the thing that counteracts what you're complete like everything you're doing.
Oh
It's
my
for your
gosh,
blood
but
sugar.
yeah, but that's why the marathons must be ran, because the love for donuts is too strong.
Yeah, how else can you afford donuts? I agree. Yeah, inflation's getting pretty bad. Those donut prices are way higher than they used to be. So I get it. I get it. You have to run a full-time job and be a professional athlete.
Yes, but
Just
you know what I just figured out? On the grill, between the turntables, we can have the heat from the grill warming the oil for the deep fryer for my donuts.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were gonna say like you can make donuts on a grill, and I was gonna try to envision this.
Yo, we forgot something.
Yes.
It has to mine crypto at the same time.
Yes.
I
Maybe
posted
the heat from the miners. Go ahead, Mariana.
I was just gonna say I posted a reference of height. Actually, Drip, it was the same night that we all met too. So yeah, I'm like 5'8" ish, 5'8". So just to show you from that. Okay, my job has been complete.
Mariana is definitely not taller than me. Damn, Rustan's a stud. Well, I've kind of already known that.
We got kicked off the balcony 2 minutes later after that photo. It had just like rained and it was like apparently slippery out, so they didn't want us on the balcony.
Rustan is a proper and very reserved, nice gentleman when you meet him, just like he is in the spaces.
I think my picture of him, it's just us. It's not like we're doing like a selfie, so I don't have like the height comparison, but I don't remember him being tall. I
He's
guess
taller. He's
he's
taller than
tall.
Teeny Bud.
But is he taller than me?
Yes.
Are you really like 6'5"?
I'm not 6'5", but I don't
Okay.
remember him being tall. I remember his helmet being a huge problem. That's all. And he eats healthy. Oh my god, he ate healthy, and then I ate healthy because he was eating healthy. Like, he didn't have a beer. He had a ahi poke bowl. I'm like, okay, I'll have something healthy too.
uh,
I think I
since
think
since we're
Sinful needs something healthy.
since we're talking about our good friend Rustan, did you? All of you probably already know, but did you know he plays the piano pretty well?
Nope.
We learned about this at Mobeats. Tune in to Mobeats every other Saturday or every other Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. On that note, let's see. Vanessa, any final thoughts before I close?
I'm not gonna say much because otherwise, like, that's gonna start another half hour of discussion. So just be kind to yourself and others, and I'll see you next week. Love y'all.
Thank you, Vanessa. Be kind to your stomachs and everyone else's stomachs around you. Thank you, everyone, for all your time. Really appreciate seeing you all today for our weekly community building Decentraland Twitter space. And yeah, if you're new listener down at the bottom would like to learn more, we we host our Twitter space every Saturday at noon. We do have a Discord channel where we all like just chat or just keep in touch with each other, usually active, play video games, whatever it may be. And you can find the link to that on my bio. It is the bit.ly link. Probably, oh wait, no, I changed that, sorry guys. It's you'll find it in my link tree. It'll be like the Discord link, so yeah, if you would like to join, just jump on in and yeah, always feel free to chat with everyone. Love you all. Take care. And as usual, act natural. And I'll see you all next week.
Love you, mean it. Bye bye.
Bye.
Wow, wow, wow. What a space. Thank you everyone for coming. Really appreciate you being here. Once again, if I missed anything in the comments, I'm so sorry. Just been kind of like focusing on the space and looking through different comments and stuff like through Twitter and as well as Discord. So my apologies if I may have not seen any comments in the chat. I really appreciate every single one of you. I always have to take a moment to thank you all for being here. Look how pretty KJ is. Look how pretty Kanessa is. Kanessa, what happened to your eyeballs? Toxic waifu having fun in the clouds. Nice. Here, let me close